chat. I have with me WriterAnon, who wrote quite a few green texts and a Tarja fake, the name of which is eluding me at the moment.
It just doesn't have a name yet.
Well, then it's that would explain why it's eluding me at the moment.
Perfect solid opener.
Fucking the fins. There we go. That'll do it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh my.
It's the name of the fic now.
Man.
We named it live.
Live world premiere.
So how you doing today?
I'm alright, how are you all?
Very good.
Halo 2 on Legendary.
Ooh, difficult.
Yeah. And also, it's been just a lot of scheduling things for me today.
I get that. Trying to wrangle people into any sort of project whatsoever is a nightmare.
Yeah. It can be. And usually me dealing with people of different time zones is what causes the nightmare, but that's actually solving some of my issues. Just because it means I can put them at more reasonable times for them.
It's therefore for not dwelling in superior time zones.
Mm-hmm. Such as CST.
CST based.
CST,
No.
BST. Best standard time.
Absolutely.
We're going to overlook this blatant falsehood. And then transition into a more typical opening question. So, WriterAnon, what got you into Snoot?
Okay, so I've been a V denizen for about 10 years now.
I'm
and
sorry.
for a long time, I kept seeing rumblings of this being posted from time to time. I was in the thread whenever they were making fun of the first Goodbye Volcano High stream, that sort of thing. And I just seen like continual fucking people talking about like, oh, they're making another Katawa shoujo, that sort of thing. And so I was like, okay, interesting, whatever. And I forgot about it. Come down the line, about right when Wani was about to release, I saw a bunch more posts about it. And I was like, the hell is this? And I realized, oh, it's the same sort of thing. So eventually it wore me down. I was like, you know what, fine. I will check out your VN dating simulator. And so I ended up playing Wani in one night and then turned right around and played Snoot the next day. So, and that was February of last year.
Happy 1 year anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah.
About a month ago, about 2 weeks ago, actually.
What is this? This is my, I guess, third Snoot anniversary. I played it when it first came out.
Oh.
But it was because it leaked over into iFunny.
Oh, well, he's honest about it.
Yeah. Listen, it's kind of cringe and gay to be like, you can't share the Smile app.
It's fine.
It's an app on the app. It's an app on the App Store. You know, I downloaded it, and sometimes it makes me laugh. Usually, it just makes me sad. The same thing can be said about any social platform.
So, Ryder, while we have you here,
Hello?
I have a out of left field question. I think it's associated with V. It might be A. Can you explain to me what Krillin posting is?
Oh, that's an A thing. Okay. There's a really long story behind that, and I can't really do it justice, but all you really need to know about that is that a shit posting derived from shit posting derived from shit posting. It started as something different and slowly distilled down into people deciding that Krillin is a cuck. And it is very long and storied history. It mainly stems from the Dragon Ball Super threads. DBS, if you were curious.
I was hoping it was going to be something more ridiculous as opposed to just resorting to cucking again.
No, that's what it is, yeah.
From what I see, there is quite a bit of interest in cuckold when you look at 4chan.
Hey, man, can we change the topic?
Hey, come on.
You picked the topic, my friend.
I didn't know what Krillin posting was. I'm very sorry I asked a question. I will not be doing this again.
Average short person posting.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So in that case, what got you into writing greens?
So it started with me not really participating for the first few months. I'm new to trash. I have never really touched this board ever, and I ended up here because I knew that, like, I could hunt down the thread eventually and found it was, trash. And I was like, oh, interesting. I'll do the thing where I lurk for a while, see what's going on, blah, 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 blah. What started with is I saw people discussing things about the story, and I thought, I can probably toss my head in there because I do that from time to time. I'm not really... at that time, I would not consider myself a very creative type or anything along those lines, but I thought, you know what? I can at least put words into a form that, gets my point across, and maybe people will find that interesting. And that's how that started, is I would jump into discussions of when people... I can't remember exactly what people were talking about. I was fairly certain it was things about Wani, and then I would jump in with a little bit like, hey, this is how I see things would be going, yada, yada, yada. From then, it went on to me noticing that other people would take full-on short-form writing requests, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting, and I got to reading a couple of those, and I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I went ahead and jumped into reading a bunch of fanfics from there. I told myself I wouldn't, but I did anyway. And when I came back, I was like, that's interesting. I had a lot of fun doing that, and so at one point, I jumped into another just sort of discussion thing and ended it with, but I'm not a writer. And from that point, people were like, well, you should continue this, even if you are not a writer. I was like, okay. And so it started from that. I then was emulating people at the time. I believe it was Pig and Warsmith, mainly. That is also how I got my name, because I kept introducing myself as not a writer, and so people started calling me WriterAnon.
Damn, branded by the community.
Oh. Yep.
It'll happen. Maybe one day I'll start lurking on trash and doing things occasionally.
No.
You have to have a very high tolerance for everything, let's say.
I have a pretty high tolerance for a lot of bullshit.
Might enjoy your stay, then.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be like going to the zoo, honestly.
Could you stop grooming Goose into trash live on air, please?
No promises.
God damn it.
I mean, at my local park, the geese get in the trash all the time, so...
Well, yeah, sometimes there's bread in there.
So what was the first green that you think took off or, made it a thing?
That's a hard question. I do archive everything, so I do have a list of everything. The first thing, I don't really try and gauge too much on popularity because comparisons to Thief Joy, etc., etc. The only ones that I know that are particularly popular are ones that either I've gotten fan art of, or B, I have a number counter on them. And the only two that I know of that are, like, I have a list of fan art here, I have the number on the Rosafic, and I have the number on Queen's tweet, and that's the only ones that I know of. Off the top of my head, the most popular thing that quote-unquote took off is a thing... It's hard to explain. It's a thing where a sort of alternate E2 of both Fang and a different version of Fang that were both... the alternate version was a sort of, instead of being crushed and being the sort of like dead end job, etc., etc., she instead gave up her morals and was like the asshole rock star sort of thing of them meeting. That one, I don't know the exact number, but last I checked, I had 25,000 views on the tweet. So
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. What's one of your favorite green texts? Doesn't have to be one of your own, just one that you've read. Because my favorite's the Chippo Man.
That's another pretty hard question. I've read a few, but I can't name any off the top of my head other than my own, unfortunately. My memory for other people's writings is horrible. I'm the worst at A, keeping up with other people's stuff, or B, remembering it to begin with. So I'll just cheat and say the Columbo one.
Oh, the Columbo Stella one?
Uh-huh.
I've read that. It was well written.
Yeah, that was interesting. It stemmed off of something I wrote.
Man, what if somebody wrote a mod about that?
Man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, how about that?
That'd be fucking
Yes,
wild.
the original thing that stemmed from was something I'd written. So that's why.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Was that a bad bitch Stella green text?
Sort of.
It was a
Yandere
Stella.
Yeah.
A receiver showed that to me.
Yeah. Oh, you read it, did you?
Backdoor
Yes,
grooming.
I
session.
I'm very sorry about that.
Listen, I look over my wall, which has a picture of a Stegosaurus on it. I forgive you.
So tell us about the fan art you received.
Oh, where to start on that one? I have a full folder. There's somewhere I could post
I can
this?
put it on the screen if you throw it in the chat here.
Sure. I'll show you the big one, usually, or the big two, I suppose. Both by Blindsight and Queen, drawn by Blindsight, colored by Queen, or Hugo Espectro, depending on how you know.
Blind sights.
Where can I post these? Should I just DM them to you?
You can do that, or you can throw them in the side chat.
I do not have access to this room's chat, I don't believe.
Wow.
Hold
Sarah, can you
on.
fix
What
that?
more moderating?
You should. You have the right role.
If you wanted to see them. Those are the two quote-unquote big ones.
Go ahead and just DM them.
I already did, yeah. Those are from the same sort of scenario. I'm very pleased with them. They're phenomenal. Big shout-outs to Pondside for drawing that. Unprompted, by the way. Nothing I have that is drawn for me I've ever asked for. This is all
Pondside is a top G.
Yes, she is.
From the interactions I've had with him, top G. I do really like it. And also, she pays attention to the actual anatomy that the dinosaur people would have as they go, as opposed to just doing like a 90-degree tail out of the ass. I don't know if it's like a subconscious thing, but it actually follows the flow of a spine as it should be when Blindsight draws them. Yeah, I'm outing myself as a nerd.
No, that's fine. Anatomy talk's always fun. Yeah, I've got a couple others. The other two that I would point out is that there are people that got commissions for things that I've written, which is crazy to me. I'll post these three.
Yeah.
I'm not certain on the Nick one. I've been told that it is the case that is based off something I've written, or loosely. So I'm not 100% on that one, but I do know the other one. I was told directly from the other two that, yes, that was a commission based off of something I wrote.
So out of the things you write, do you have any favorites?
That's a hard one. Give me a moment to think about it. I've had a couple that have been pretty... it tore me up a little bit to write, get a little emotional, that sort of thing. Off the top of my head, I can't specifically point one out. Give me a moment to think to see if I can pull one out.
Why is this file size so big?
These are commissions, that's why. Those are very, very big commissions.
High fidelity, we'll say. I think I've seen this Nick one before. At some point.
Blocked out the entire screen with it.
The Rosa one did.
That's not Rosa, that's Maria.
Is that Maria?
That is Maria.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, I didn't even think.
As fake autist on stream.
You know, it really makes sense that a daughter would look like their mother. I can't believe that Meister is calling Columbo Boomer. This is fucked up.
He's too scared to actually get in here, so it doesn't matter.
Anyway, those are the ones I just thought I'd point out. I do have a couple of others. And to answer your question, at the moment, the only thing that's really coming up on immediate, sort of forefront is one of my favorites that I've written is I wrote one where Macho Man Randy Savage shows up to save the day aboard an E1. So there you go. There's your answer.
I have not read this one. No, you have to send me the.
I can give you the raw text, or I can give you the link because I can go grab the other archive if you'd like.
The link.
Okay, it was on the 3rd of the... Okay, give me just a second.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
This might be worth an excerpt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. There's your answer.
It might be worth reading an excerpt of Randy Savage.
Oh, boy.
We'll read it live. It's a green text. We can
oh, no.
Yes.
Here we go.
And we're going to do the autistic voices as well.
Oh, yeah.
Give me just a second.
Except it'll just become Hulk Hogan when I do it.
That's fine.
See, I have the same problem. I drift into the Hulkster too when I do Savage and Preston.
Right.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Well,
Snap
all right,
Slim
so Randy Savage's voice, it's a lot tougher on you than just brother. It goes, yeah, brother. You force a lot more air through, and so it just wrecks you faster than Hulk would.
Hold on.
Yes, that's right. Hulk wrecks my throat.
Don't. All right, man. So you keep doing this to yourself. You keep doing this to yourself, and I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to stand by you every time you do this. I have to push forward past your casual homosexual commentary.
What are you talking about? He just got done with a Marvel Rivals match. That's all he's saying.
Oh no.
I don't play Marvel Rivals.
Go
ahead
bait,
and
fuck.
Goose, do you want to throw this green text caption up on screen so people know what we're talking about / can read it for themselves?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Save image. Let's put her in.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back.
No,
So
you're
one of those
good. You're
things to
good.
talk about. I should be free for the rest of the night, though. So you've got me for another, 4 hours.
Epic.
All
right.
We have D&D at...
So somebody prompted you. Somebody goes back in time, stops E1 from ever occurring by fighting the auditorium crowd.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
made sure to preface this with, you have made a grave mistake of not reining me in.
Understandable. And now I do know the answer, but I have to present it as if I don't know for the crowd. My goodness, WriterAnon, is this a random prompt that you took? Is that normal from you? Do you take random prompts on trash?
I do, yes. It's effectively commissioned writing just for free in very short form and not formatted. That's pretty much what it is. It's not the normal /BME whatever startup thing. It is just a short form story.
Would you take a prompt from me if I just asked you here and now?
Sure, go ahead.
Cynthia going fishing.
Okay, I will write that down. I will have it to you probably either by the end of tonight or tomorrow.
Dang.
Just shot your shot
And,
on
unfortunately, I will tell you, I can't write and talk at the same time because I'll transcribe what either I am saying or other people are saying. So.
Oh, I get you.
Oh.
Do we want to run through the screen text really quick?
Might as well.
Oh boy.
Do we have
Laughter's-
voices, narrator? Can I get Macho Man?
Sure, if
You
you
get
want.
Macho Man, I'll do the narration.
Okay.
The laughter starts. It's happening again. Fang starts to tense up as the stage as the crowd begins to get wilder and wilder. My stomach sinks watching this happen again. Why'd you have to go back to base? I watch in horror as I see a plastic cup soar out of the crowd toward Fang. As it gets closer and closer, a flash of light and misty fog rolls in. A silhouette stands in the fog. Humanoid, no tail. A crunching noise of the small cup as it sprinkles a punch splay out on the crowd. A hush falls and mist clears. There stands a huge, oily muscled man. No shirt, huge sade, tan body, and only wearing a bandana wrapped around his head. Spandex short shorts and thigh-high and yellow boots laced up with a single gray glove on his left arm. It's got some sort of control pad on it. Flexes and drops a crushed plastic cup and speaks, a deep, growly voice, strained and heavy coming from his bearded face.
Not so fast, you technicolor terrors!
I am in absolute awe of this monster of a man.
You think you can just trample somebody's hard work like that? Not on the Intercontinental Champions watch!
The student body goes silent. I look around to find Spears, but he's unfortunately missing. I wonder if he likes this. Who the fuck?
Don't degrade the champion at any time!
He roars out and dives from the stage into the crowd. I hear a me slam as whoever unlucky enough to chime in is smeared over the auditorium floor.
Any more, you clowns? Want a piece of the chip?
He screams out as I hear flailing and scratching from where he landed. The room devolves into a mix of mosh pit and a brawl as all hell breaks loose. Several
Oh yeah!
are let out from our mystery man as I continue hearing dino flesh hitting the floorboards. I make my way around the crowd to find Fang and get the hell out of here. I grasp her arm and start the drag before she unfreezes and follows. You know that guy? I huff as we power walk to the exit.
Barely. Oh, hold on. What? No, do you?
I shake my head. I don't particularly need any oily lunatics. We push out of the cool air, slightly winded, noises of the absolute brawl still going on behind us. Fang looks shaken. You okay?
Barely.
She cringes a bit and leans back.
Shit, if that weirdo didn't... Oh, shit, if that weirdo didn't show, that would have been exactly like the other time, huh?
She grits her teeth.
Sierra, it's your line again.
Fang sighs.
Alright, let's get out of here.
I nod in agreement. Anywhere's better than here right now. Fang brushes herself off, and I start to walk her home.
Fiend lol.
Yes.
How was that, WriterAnon? Was that good for you too?
Sure. Very weird.
Was that good for? Was that as good for you as it was for me? I say,
hope you
smoking
enjoyed
a
it.
cigarette.
I hope you enjoyed it.
That was great.
You're trapped in this room with the autistic fallout of your own actions.
Yeah, that seems to happen to me
hold on.
often.
There's a weather alert on my computer here, and it's just a picture of fire. A shitty PNG picture of fire.
Oh, heat storm,
Oh
huh?
boy, everybody's got red flag warnings. Yippee!
Fire weather. Okay.
So you pretty much only visit the trash boards for snooth threads.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing I go there for. I do not touch any others.
I was about to say I get mesmerized. No, that's not the right word. I get
Intrigued, maybe?
even then. So I need like a devil's advocate version of intrigued, not tempted, because I'm not tempted whatsoever. But I can't help but whenever I pull up the snooth thread when I go on there and I see all the other thumbnails, just like half the time I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on? I can't open it because I know if I opened it, somehow I would see the wrong thing and it would be a curse upon my soul and I would come back a second time and then it's over. That's something I do now, become a habit.
It's like you can't stop watching a car accident.
It's like a train wreck. Can't look away. We should bring those back where we purposefully crash boiler trains into each other.
That's what this is. A train
Called
wreck.
a science experiment.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in the day, that's just what we used to do. We'd set two decommissioned trains on the same track facing each other, and we'd get them working well enough to move into each other, and they'd strike each other at like 40 mile an hour and explode. And people bought tickets to watch that.
So we have a hidden server rule. We don't actually let Goose talk about trains on air.
Oh no.
Hey, I'm not my autism does not pertain necessarily to trains. It's just an interesting thing I saw.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just have stego brain rot. That's pretty much about it.
Stego brain rot has
Yeah,
taken over.
you know, I just have that dinosaur-tism.
So speaking of the trash boards, what's your favorite contribution towards the community as a whole? Don't say the community as a whole.
Contribution. Again, mostly I only write, so that's another hard one. I can't see I've done all that much. I'm small potatoes most of the time.
Aren't we all?
I guess one of the things that I'm attributed to, which people seem to really enjoy, is they pin Green and Cynthia together on me for some reason.
I just think they're cute together.
I think they work.
A lot of people
Yeah,
say
I
that.
think it does.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I've made it clear before. You people probably don't know this. I've said I'm very boring. Out of all the characters, my favorite is Fang and Olivia. And I have a pretty much neutral opinion on every other character. There's no one I dislike, no one I like, and there's nothing I particularly lean towards. Yeah, I'm resoundingly boring.
Nobody else.
Respectable opinions all around.
You're not even tempted to mildly like another character.
I mean, so it's a middling level of enjoyment. It's of the like, yes, I enjoy that character, and never is like, no, that character sucks. I never want to do anything with it, or like, I can see a way to write the character that I would be a fan of, or they have interesting parts of the story. Like all of them, there's no character that I'm like, I don't like them. The only character that I harbor any sort of ill will towards is Joshua. I don't like his design, but other than that, I can write for him. Other than that, I don't care.
Why don't you
All of
like
them are fun.
Joshua?
I like his design. I think it looks weird.
You don't like the shrink
valid
wrapped human
opinion.
skull?
It's a little weird. But no, that's it.
no,
Other than
come
that,
It's a Burned Man reference.
We
I'm
can
aware.
squeeze some hatred and controversy out of you. We can make you spurg on air. Go ahead, tell us why you don't like Joshua.
I just don't particularly enjoy the design. I'm more the fan that if you're going to do that kind of design of making them like really weird looking like that, don't make it comically bad. Come on.
I don't know. I can't believe what I'm hearing here. I've never seen somebody talk about fan kids and remain any level of composure whatsoever, or retain any level of composure.
I'm the same way. They're to all of them. I'm the same way to all of them. I don't have a preferred thing like that. If I talked about before, I don't really care for any of the ships or anything like that. I'm perfectly fine of having them either be part of the group or Anon's kid. I slightly lean towards I'd rather have them each, if we're going individually, have it be Anon's kid. If we're going for different story angles, I'm always flexible. I don't really mind, like no matter what.
Yeah, the fan kid shipping wars are just those who were deprived of like 2009 Tumblr shipping wars. You know, those who
Pretty
missed the
much,
boat.
yeah.
I managed to avoid that, so.
I missed the boat by being 5 years old.
Age, here we go. I'm 30, in case anybody was curious. I'll just get that right out there right now.
A solid 3-0.
Yep, I am 30. I turned
Solid.
31 this year.
Mark him as an old head.
So when you hit 30, does your entire world, your POV, get that like New Mexico yellow filter? Like it gets that aging?
No, but all your joints pop about 10 times as much.
What? That's it?
Yep. You start saying kids these days. That shows up in your vocabulary. That's a fun one.
I mean, I say that now.
Yeah.
Despite being 10 years your junior, I say that now. Kids these days.
Yeah, Goose is prepubescent.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you get better soon.
He won't. It's terminal.
I mean, I just got broken down by the world exceptionally fast due to my work.
Old
Being
in
around
spirit.
caustic chemicals, so my body is just wrinkling fast. Actually, I have
that's-
Benjamin Button's disease, if you'd believe
That's
it.
another thing. Is you start getting gray hairs at about 30, and that's a weird one. Is suddenly playing with the hair, and it's like, oh, that's new, great.
I
That's
always
fucking
assumed that was like
wonderful.
a mid 40s, 50s thing.
Nope, I've already got a couple.
Epic. Did you name them?
Epic.
Bastard, I suppose.
Each and every one of them?
At the moment, it's like 2 or 3.
I mean, one of my brothers already has gray hair, and he's like 24. Like,
Yeah, so you
noticeably
don't-
gray.
Yeah,
I'm
it just
still
happens.
not- I'm still not moving past this. You don't harbor any ill will whatsoever for any Snoot character. Not even like the easy ones like Mia, Trish.
I like Mia. I
everybody's
like
favorite.
Trish. I like every character.
Based.
There is not a single character that I'm like, no, I refuse to touch this character. I can finagle anything for any character. I really
Now, by
all
like,
of them.
do you mean understand / not hate?
You can
or do
enjoy them
mean
as a
perfect?
character and as a plot device.
Yep, the second answer there. Yes,
Oh, yeah, everybody's.
I can. Yeah, sorry. For every character, I enjoy some aspect of them, and I enjoy how they like play in their medium, no matter what. There's no character that I'm like, I don't like you at all. It's always just like, yes, I appreciate. At the very minimum, I appreciate, and above that, I enjoy. And there's no character that I do not come to the level of I can enjoy.
Yeah, it's like you appreciate the role, so as like that they play in pretty much. Is
Yes,
that right?
as a character, like some characters do abhorrent or stupid things, which is fine, and I usually will try and wrap that into a story or some sort of drive for that, and not just write it off as like, oh, that was just poor planning or poor characterization or writing hiccup, blah blah blah. I usually try and give the benefit of the doubt, if I can speak correctly, and work forward from that. Makes my life very easy to not be sour about things.
Man, he hit enlightenment at 30.
Speed run.
Let's see here.
So in that case, while we're talking about characters, what drew you in about Wani and then Snoot Game? And did you happen to enjoy one over the other or dislike anything about either of them?
They were both pretty good. I would rate them a 9.5 and a 9.7, putting Snoot slightly ahead. I felt that after playing Wani and then playing Snoot back to back like that, the emotional highs for Snoot were a little stronger for me. The main reason I enjoyed them is a very down to earth, despite being Technicolor dinosaur people, story about people coming into their own and learning how to get over their own hangups with the help of outside forces and changing as a person to help change those around you, that sort of thing. I thought Inca was a little bit of a weaker character. I could see the drive and the story beats coming, etc., easier in Wani than I could in Snoot. And I found Anon as being the stronger and sort of more headstrong character, more fun to be in his shoes for. And I like Fang a little bit more because of how abrasive she is compared to Olivia's real kind and sort of like... At first, Olivia is just about as abrasive, but she gets over that much more quickly than Fang. I prefer the more, absolute prickly woman until we get to that point.
Yeah, all respect.
Good to know, so you have a
absolutely
type.
respectful.
I told you, I like Fang and Olivia the best. But
You're
as a character
profiling.
type, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're
So Snoot,
when you're starting to write green text, aside from the prompt, is there anything you do to get yourself in the headspace to write those?
Not particularly. I am built different, or so I've been told. I have no problem if I start like sit down and start and get ready to do something, I can just instantly rattle it off. It is not really too much of a problem. I have a short like checklist I go through to do scene writing, and I've talked to Roach about this before, that I usually, whenever I take something, I will take it apart in piece by piece and then do that. But to just get started and like first word on paper, easy peasy. I just take the first like sort of scenario and start describing it. It's not that hard for me. And I don't have to warm up or do anything to that effect. I just sit down, get comfortable, and go. I'm ready to start ASAP.
Okay. What's your favorite endings for both Wani and Snoot?
I prefer ending 4 because I'm a sucker for the sappy stories, but I think ending 3 is a little bit more realistic and better written in both games.
Yep. Okay, nice.
You just don't like E4 then?
So I like E4, but I find that it's a little bit too just like literally everything is perfect in both games. Both games sort of bend themselves backwards to be like, oh, everything is great. While ending 3 is like, oh, there's still things that are wrong, but I feel that it could be in E4, it could be a little bit toned back of like, oh, it's now they've entered a normalcy. They're like, There's still a couple, they're still gonna have the little arguments, yada yada yada. I get the point of showing that it's the perfect golden ending. It's just that part of that is a little bit like it takes me very slightly out of the scenarios as I was in it. So
Yeah.
So not to put words in your mouth here, is it like the unrealisticness of such an idealized ending, or is it just
a little bit?
almost a
It's more of the fact that I wished it would have shown a little bit of that normalcy to really hammer it home that they have entered this super because everything is so up in the air and abnormal and weird to the startup for both of them because it's so weird situations. Having the end have it be sort of like super duper ultra like almost painfully normal, I think would have been to the point it was like, oh, this is a real huge tonal shift to show how everything has really truly changed, And that's sort of what I'm missing there. It's what I'm missing in it, not that what is particularly there, I guess is what I'm getting at.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The one thing I've never, and it is my own personal hang up with E4, is you can't make a single mistake whatsoever from the perspective of the characters or the choices that you have.
I forgive that as that's a sort of being medium thing.
I mean, necessary evil with visual novels and such.
Yeah, sort of necessary evil.
Damn read wire choice.
Yes, my first ending in both games, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about, was E3 both times because I managed to get every choice right, except for both times I got the one lockout choice in both games. I interrupted one line too early in Snoot, and I did not pressure Olivia and Wani, and I got E3 first time both goes, and then E4 and then 2 and 1. So same order both ways. Probably not. Should have been done.
Yeah, I was gonna say your game 1 on your last one. That's rough.
Yeah, if anybody else is going to do that, try and get any one as your second ending and get the better ones after that. It's a little rough.
Yeah. Palette cleanser.
Do you categorize how they write their endings and like special names? I like to call E1 the societal catastrophe in both games.
Unless I'm mistaken, don't they have titles already?
I think they have titles as at the end of each ending, but
Yeah,
as a category for E1s through 4, like I call E4 the Wayne's World ending.
Goodness, no, I usually just go by what they are. I call them E1 through 4.
Yeah. The only ending that I remember the name of that Caveman gave it was Bowling for Volcano High.
Yep.
Naturally.
Then there's and 2 just Anon Infinite Sadness. And I forgot what 3 and 4. I think 3 was like High School Musical or something like that.
Fast Times. Wait.
Oh, Fast Times. That's right.
Yeah, it has been a while since I've seen them.
Yeah, I mean, when you go into the code, it's like worst ending, bad ending, good ending, golden ending, and that's how they're categorized in the programming.
Are there any endings that you definitively don't like?
No, not particularly. I dislike how ending ones made me feel, of course, but I appreciate them as they're written. E1 in Wani made me hate Ingo for a little while there. I was like, oh my god. It really immediately soured me on that for his character for a bit. And, I came around, of course. But no, I feel that they do what they aim to do. And I believe that is important, and I appreciate them for what they're doing. And as such, I put them in pretty high praise there. I do like all of them, let's say. None of them are like, oh, gross, I wish that didn't happen. It's just like, yes, I enjoyed how that worked. Even if it made me feel bad.
Yeah.
I can appreciate a good E1. I can appreciate a good amount of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the thing of it is with me is, for Snoot, my preferred endings, the ones I think are the best put together, are E1, E2. Because you start seeing the pieces fall apart by E3. E3 especially.
No, I was a big fan of the cutoff for the endings. It shows pretty clearly that there's a shift in how the character's acting, and not so much in E2. Specifically for Snoot, I did notice that there was a sort of like wall in ending 2 and 3, that there was like not a full connection that was being made there, and I was sort of picking up on that, and it was a very interesting thing to be a part of. Ending 1 kind of blindsided me. I didn't catch that very much, and it happened. I was like, oh, right. I remember seeing these images.
Yeah.
Ouch. Very, very unpleasant.
E1 blindsides us all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You think that you're being a good person. You think you're being helpful, and then no.
Yeah.
Shit. Fuck.
So what do you mean that wall between E2 and E3?
So the wall. When I said the wall, I mean more the wall between Anon and Fang. So what I was getting at there is that it was pretty clear that there was like an erosion of the wall between them, and they were getting closer and closer together. And then the cutoff happens, and then it's clear that there's something that has sort of like gotten in the way all of a sudden. And it's usually when Fang's talking about dating and things like that, and Anon's having problems about it because Fang is not playing ball and Anon is not willing to change. And that's the sort of like, oh, we're backpedaling now. I see what's going on. And they're putting up the wall again. They're being open with each other.
Yeah, I get what you say, especially in E3. I feel like you see that the most.
Yeah.
Like they go, oh, geez, they really do like each other.
One of my favorite bits is the E1 lakeside chat between Fang and Annan, where Annan basically spits on everything about Fang's image and her self-perception, and he just follows it up with, but I'm a piece of shit too, so it's okay, LOL.
Yeah, the E2 scene was pretty funny. Whenever it's happening, I was like, oh my god, here we go. Almost comically bad.
Yeah.
Nah, it's always rough to see that coming as something that you no longer have a choice in. That's like, just
Yeah,
shut
you're a
up.
joke,
Yeah.
but I'm also a joke, so it's
Dog,
fine.
that's the exact wrong wording. Even like I understand what message you're trying to convey, but you've used the exact wrong fucking wording.
That was my favorite train wreck to watch, man.
Dog,
yeah.
you could say, instead of saying you don't matter, just say like nothing else matters, dog. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Just say nothing.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm particularly
Shut the
fond
fuck
of. In
up.
both E2s in both games is the main character just not being able to fucking shut their mouth and just not say the wrong thing.
I'm
That's
gonna
always
give
fun.
you the only legal advice that I'm authorized to give. Shut the fuck up.
Yep, don't talk.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Even if, all right, so so when somebody stays silent, even if you don't like them, you're not gonna have an issue with somebody's not talking. For the most part, every now and then people feel awfully special
Yeah.
and decide to just shit on the silent, which is whatever. But that's not the silent person's fault.
Here's a great subversive / meta question for you, WriterAnon. What would you ask WriterAnon if you were interviewing WriterAnon right now? I don't think. that
Oh,
one's
making me do the
embarrassing.
legwork. Okay, so one thing that I did come prepared to talk about, if you would want to lead there, is how long I've been writing for.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start with that. So this is a fun one. So I, like everybody else, I can answer that I've been doing scholastic writing for a long time, but my first foray into actual factual creative writing was, in fact, last year when I started writing for the thread.
Nice.
First time.
What?
Yep. This is my full extent of creative writing experience. I've had, like I said, academic writing, sort of like that sort of thing. I've had the creative writing classes that I always did very poorly in school, but I have never, in actual factual sort of like just my own sort of thing writing, this is it. And on top of that, I do not write on my own. The only things that I have ever written, sort of creatively, were things that I have either been directly asked to do or have been suggested to do so. Nothing is of my own, like, oh, I should do this because this has come to me.
Somebody got a hit on Marketplace.
That's not me.
1 second. I have a firearms auction going. I forgot to mute my phone.
Just Grinder notifications are going off.
Wow.
No.
What do you mean there's a grinder app? How would that even work?
Buddy.
I have an
Buddy.
abrasive pad installed on my phone. Guys, nobody tell Goose, please.
Yeah, I love being boomer as shit.
I guess since you were on top of your writing career, do you see yourself going even further with your writing prowess?
Probably not. This is just a sort of thing for funsies, whatever. I'll probably keep going for a long while. I don't see this stopping anytime soon, but I don't really have the drive or means to be like, oh, I should go into some sort of writing profession. I have enough writers in my family. I'm good. Just doing
nice.
this as a sort of fun thing is my extent of that. I don't have any sort of like, oh, I need to publish a book or something along those lines. I'm content with where I am.
Okay. Has anyone ever like asked for your like a proofread or a consultant on something they're writing?
Several times, yes. I have proofread for... Give me a moment. I proofread and edited for Umbra, for Gator Enjoyer, for... I guess we can technically say Bog. For Bog, for Best Day, and for Cool Bug.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Oh, and Devious.
There's a name I don't know.
Rather Devious, the artist.
Drew the absolutely banging Schizo fan art.
He draws very often. He's a phenomenal artist, and he is a good friend.
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
one of my favorites.
I have not run into him.
Yes.
That's
But
cool.
yes,
I didn't know you worked with Umbra. That's cool.
Yes, I'm credited on one of his short stories post Bad Apple.
Nice.
You know, Umbro was the first guest I had in here.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. Pretty chill guy. But I don't like that dog.
Got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, speaking of...
They're inside of you are two dogs, and they're kissing, and they're both boys.
Slap on the picture of the two black men kissing.
Goose is completely indifferent to Umbra because he's not really a fan of Stegos whatsoever. We were having a conversation the other
Bro,
day.
what are you
Told me he thought Stella was entirely overrated as a character.
That's not right. No. He wouldn't
no,
say
dude, I
that.
can
He
pull-
wouldn't say that.
I can pull up his Twitter right now, and I guarantee you he's gonna talk about his favorite like character in all fiction. It's Stella.
I know he's going to be talking about Final Fantasy 14. Or 15,
Oh, you know what?
the online
Here's
one.
a perfect question to ask. WriterAnon, have you done any Stella greens? Because I haven't read all your greens.
Many.
I mean, there's the one that's on the Columbo story.
Oh, duh.
He
Yes.
mentioned earlier.
Let's see here.
Listen,
From-
you told me
from
this
the
interview
top-
would be tomorrow. Okay, I didn't take my alpha brain this morning.
Yeah, from the top, a Stella running into a post E2 Anon, a Stella and Stella Exanon, and they're taking their toddler Cynthia stargazing. A Stella writing Snoot Game as a VN to show to Anon. Stella, let's see here. Stella being outed as a Fujoshi. There we go. Stella and Rosa talking about reincarnation. Stella and Rosa watching Dragon Ball Z. You get the idea here.
Yep, pretty good stuff.
I have, as a matter of fact, if we'd like to, you let me, real quick. Since everything is plain text and I run Windows, I can run shell commands. Where's my goddamn...
Jamie pulled the
Ryder's
clip.
about to read one of his greens live. He's going to read it in his own voice in real time.
No, whoops, I hit my microphone, sorry about that. What I'm going to do is get a number. If you'll give me just a moment.
Why are you yelling at me, Kat?
There we go. So, survey says, the current word count for everything that I've written for the thread is 657,000 words.
Nice,
Holy
respectable
shit.
word count right there.
Damn.
I mean, some would say that WriterAnon is a man of sizable discussion.
that a fat joke?
Uh,
I'm kidding. No.
Are you a WoW player?
No, I write pretty quick. I can crank out 3,000 words an hour pretty easily.
I I need to learn this power.
Type professionally for 10 years.
Ah,
Now that's a conversation. That's a topic for conversation. Tell us about
I work in IT, and I have
Oh, yeah, that explains it then.
since from the time that I was about probably 12 years old, I have been typing, like full on learning to type. I took typing classes, speed typing classes. I've even considered buying one of those speed typing things they use in courtrooms and learning to do that and swapping careers because I can type pretty
Stenography?
quickly. Yes, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. A stenographist's keyboard. And getting to that. But that's a lot of A, they're very expensive, and B, that is like a 4 or 5 year thing, so maybe.
Really?
Yes,
I would have thought they were cheaper because they have fewer buttons on them.
No, they are very expensive. The last time I checked, they were like $300. It may have fluctuated from that, but they are quite
I
expensive.
mean, a regular keyboard's like 100 nowadays.
Yeah.
When you go to the Best Buy, you don't just use the Dell membrane keyboard that you found at the dumpster.
But yes, no, I have been typing as fast as I possibly can since I've been like 17. And then from there, as I work in IT, I do a lot of typing because I log things, so.
You're just able to get it done fast.
Yep.
What branch of IT specifically? Data entry or?
So IT is informational technologies. It's fixing things. I'm a low branch of IT. I go out and I plug things back in when they die. I have to ask the question, have you tried turning it on and off again? I am not high-level IT, I'm low-level IT. I mean, I can set up home group, I can do that sort of thing. My degrees are in math and computer science, but I have not used those in over 7 years, so whatever.
You know, they never tell you how little you're going to use your actual degree.
Fun fact, by the way, do you want to know what you use math degrees for? Teaching math. Yeah.
That's a lot of degrees, though. Like, what else?
Yeah.
What you know? What you use a history degree for? It's teaching history.
Not even for banking or accounting, just teaching math.
No, if you want banking or accounting, you take either management or a accounting degree. You do not take a mathematics degree.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The math and accounting is a lot simpler than what they give you in a mathematics degree.
Yeah, mathematics degree gets into stupid math that's just all theoretical after a certain point.
Banking. It's pretty basic arithmetic if you're not doing like I'm trying to project for the future based off old statistics. But even then, that's statistics.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's not
in
general
statistics.
math.
I've had an accounting class. It's not that complicated. It's just sheet balancing and knowing how to run write-offs and things along those lines. Calculate depreciation. It's really not that.
You know how to run Excel, you're fine.
Yep.
Okay, let's just. What's your opinion on the fan games?
So to tie this back into a previous topic, I'm really bad about keeping up with other people's works, but also I've been around long enough and been in beta projects and things long enough that I try to not judge projects until they are finished. For the moment, I don't really have any I'm particularly interested or looking forward to, but I'm also the same way that I do not have any negative feelings toward any of them. I just am completely in the dark on pretty much every one of them, except I do know some of the people working on them. I speak to Farain, of course. I speak to Roach all the time and Pig, and so I'm tied in with them. I have nothing to do with them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's no negative thing there. It's just I will reserve my opinion until the full finished products are out.
Notice he acknowledged me. The moment I leave the room, he'll start talking shit. I promise you. I promise you.
I mean, that's just the rule with everybody. The moment they leave the room, you have to start talking shit.
Yeah, can we kick Goose out of the call for no reason? Just about 5 minutes, please.
Get some good quality one-on-one time?
Yeah, naturally.
Fair.
I see how it is.
With that being said, certainly you have aspects of the fan games that you're looking forward to, or like, character-driven story setting, plot elements.
That's the fun thing. I've somehow managed to avoid almost all information for all of them.
No.
Yep. I know almost
no
nothing. I know of the names, I've seen...
You're on notice, Farragut.
Yeah, I know of the names. I know of a couple of the designs. I'm very close to the Mimi project, so I've got a couple of things off of just what's the word I'm looking for? Osmosis, just from existing near those people. But pretty much I know nothing. I know Maddie's name is Mimi, and I know sort of how her story goes, or sort of how her character's supposed to be, and that's it.
He's trying to
telling me
steer
you
you
lurk in the
towards the
threads.
project that he's on, known as Devlog.
I'm aware of Devlog, but I know of Dev's name and I've seen his design, and the lady's Rebecca, whatever her name is, right?
There's multiple ladies.
Okay, there you go. There's your
ladies.
answer.
There's
No,
Emily,
I
there's Rebecca,
intentionally
there's
keep
Abigail.
myself in the dark. I do not want. So I've talked about it before. The first introduction someone has to something is really, really, really important. So with that, I try to make my first introduction to these sort of things something that does not sour it. On top of that, it's the same reason why I will not touch characters that I am not intimately familiar with, because if I suddenly decide I want to start writing for a character that I am either not completely equipped to handle, or they're still in the sort of like development phase, my interpretation poisons the well. And I think that is a really nasty thing to do to somebody, so I intentionally go out of my way not to do that. If I'm going to write for something that I'm not 100% certain is like settled, or I have a very good grasp on, I will not do that.
Or at the very least, it's never released.
Yeah, I guess I understand where you're coming from. But I would think that being in the trash threads all the time, because I mean, they absolutely love to. Anytime a demo for anything drops or a chapter drops, they just got to sit there and they got to dissect it at the very best, or tear it to shreds at the very worst.
So I happen to be a Fortunite for over 10 years. I am extremely quick on just tuning out things that I don't really care about. I could go a thread and read about a third of the posts.
Pattern recognition, I see.
Yep. I
Telling me
don't.
you're not-
If I don't
you're not
immediately
self-
find interest in it, I will just gloss over it.
Not self-programmed to seek out content you know will make you angry.
Yep.
I refuse to believe it.
No, I consider that a pretty healthy habit of mine, is I can go out of my way not to make myself upset.
And you're still in this community?
Hey, it's why I'm still here.
Ultimate survival technique.
You learn it pretty quick after being on V for fucking 10 years. If you don't want to have double the blood pressure, you learn very quickly.
I mean, I work on the construction side, so nothing they can say, anybody says to me can really hurt me online. And
yeah,
also, I know
the
the cardinal rule of if the internet's making you upset, hit the power button.
Reminds me of the cyberbullying tweet.
It's just the fucking video of somebody clicking the power button, just going, what an idea.
Oh man, somebody should make a satire video where it's like high school bullies from the '90s, and they're talking about bullying nowadays, and they're like breaking down, crying, talking about how it isn't the same because anybody can turn on their computer and just walk away.
This image from Tyler, the creator. I love this picture. Apologize with the weird censorship, but you get the gist of it.
Synth.
Anyway, I'm glad to hear that you're.
What is our Lord and Savior Arceus talking about, writer?
That was not me. That's somebody else. I don't know. Yeah, I am not familiar with that character enough to write for them.
He's gonna need to explain that.
It's something somebody'd come up with. I can't remember exactly what it is, and like I said, I'm not very familiar with it. So it's a thread character, robot. I think.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not familiar.
Well, I heard you talking about early in the interview before I had to head out and everything. What's your favorite fic if you read a lot of them?
Okay, I've read a lot of them, or a bit of them, let's say. I'm really bad at retention. Really bad. And I'm really bad about keeping up with things. But I can tell you that I can inflate our good friend's ego here, that some of my favorites are some of the people that I have talked to directly, including Puppet Game and Spinning Her Wheels.
Not a real fic. Puppet Game, I mean. I can't wait for the next chapter of Spinning Her Wheels to come out.
Eventually. I'm also a pretty decent fan of...
Eventually.
A pretty decent fan of Meteor Game. Again, that's another Warsmith one, but I'm a little bit biased there because I've been consulted on that one a little bit. So
I haven't read it. Out of pure, unadulterated hatred for him not continuing Spinning Her Wheels.
Understandable.
I'll also be boycotting Mimi entirely.
There is what spinning her wheels has right now written. Someone made it into a mod in the Steam Workshop.
Elaborate on that.
There's somebody made a mod from the I Want You Hug That Gator fan fiction, spinning her wheels.
yeah.
On the Steam Workshop for Want You Hug That Gator.
If you need access to Blindside, I am a friend with her. We can.
I've run into
actually do that.
Blindsight previously, and I'm
Okay, sure.
in their DMs.
Whoa.
As like we've spoken, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This little glowing sprite cannot express the amount of sass that I've
Keep
moved
digging,
with.
keep digging your hole, man. Keep digging yourself in a hole.
I like her art.
Oh, you what?
Foot mouth. Let's go.
My audio device cut out. I heard I like her, and then it cut. Could you repeat that?
I enjoy the art made by the creature known as Blindsight.
Give me just a second. I need more water. My throat's getting a little dry. Be right back.
Wow,
I'm scared
somebody
of-
hasn't practiced by reading all of Bad Apple over the course of 5 days out loud for the first time in front of a studio audience. And then immediately following it up with Sibling Rivalry. And now their voice just doesn't start cracking and breaking out anymore. Or at least not as bad.
While we're here, we should say hello to Best Day Ever in the chat, who is one of the artists involved with Mimi. Good friend with, come on, brain, kick it.
You'll have your turn soon, Bon.
Yank him in here.
I'm back.
I've sent Best Day invitation into the server. We just haven't taken
He
it.
hates you. He hates you. Move on. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
He's just not that into you.
He hates it. You fell off. I'm sorry.
You know, was I ever on?
No.
Fun fact about
Exactly.
that, by the way, is that Besta and I have done a little cooperational sort of thing that almost was a comic. Let me go get it on the
What?
Guru, if I remember correctly. Give me a moment.
What do you mean it was
What?
almost a comic? Finish it.
No, as in sort of. You'll see what I mean. Okay. Oh, it does not have the direct sort of green text with it, but it is this pool of posts on the Buru is a sort of thing that they approached me of wanting to do something with a prompt, and I did it. And they turned around and were like, "Here's like 8 pieces right to go with it." And I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
I mean, that is what they do.
Yeah, a little crazy. Yes, the entire pool of that images has a thing to go with it. I cannot remember.
They've made it so I can no longer Control-C, Control-V images into the OBS. This is fucked up.
Cringe.
I have to save it into my computer. Anyway, here's, is that Amber?
That is Fang. Posted Ning Fang, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I thought I saw the ribbon. That's why. My bad, G.
Oh, it's fine.
I'll cover the green text with that. Front-facing
yeah.
Doomer Fang, best day ever. Why is... No, Tommy, this is not a skill issue. This is
It's a
literally
skill
a tech
issue.
issue.
Tommy, you are so true. You're
Tommy,
so correct.
I'm gonna...
Can we get him? Can we mod that man, please?
Hey, there's the guy.
You know, I'll think
Hey,
about
Tommy,
it.
I'm
Hello,
chat.
Scraggity.
Hey.
It's my friend.
Well, since I think you talked about this recently, so I imagine this will be a quick one. What's your opinion on OC characters?
Most of them I pretty much enjoy. There's a couple that I'm not certain of that I don't really have any like specifically the fan games ones I don't know anything about, but all the ones that I'm directly like know of, like Nova and a couple of those sort of things like the fan kids, I'm usually pretty enjoy. Again, the Nova thing, I'm also a little bit biased because I helped write that character, so or at least was consulted. Let's say, let's not say.
He wrote the
Still would
entire
make you
character by himself.
Still would make you biased.
But yes, but all those sort of things. The Puppet Pals are great. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the Puppet Pals are of the most known fan characters.
Oh, of course.
You
Yeah,
killed my beloved.
Most of them. I'm a fan of Petunia, and
Hey.
because I hang out with Bog, so.
Yeah. Aren't the Puppet Pals referenced in the Snoot game code at some point? Or like in the file names, I should say. I think so.
You're talking about forbidden knowledge here.
Am I talking about forbidden knowledge?
I can't know this.
I have no idea on this one. You are driving this, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've just been doing a lot of diving through the files to steal sprites for the mod, just to figure out what things are called.
Planting the seeds of doubt where the puppet pal is going to be in the game originally.
So, Writer, you and Best Day ever finishing this comic?
It's a lot more than that, but it's just a short story with images attached to it, which turned into pretty much a comic. But at the moment, we have talked a little bit about it. I do have, we could write more of it, but it's not really in the cards at the moment. Bond's already overworked as shit. They go crazy with art, so I'm not really, looking to do that anytime soon. It is on the table. I've been asked about it twice now, you being the second time. But yes, it's not a no, but it's a maybe once Bond stops being just overworked at all times.
Yeah, I just keep hearing how he's just everywhere, and I'm like, dude, how do you have time?
Doesn't.
Bond does not have time for anything.
Man's a fucking machine.
And what they do is they just work and keep working. I'm grabbing a few more of these images from the comic.
Oh, there's a couple. We could fill the screen with fan art.
we could.
I don't know how, but I get fan art. That's the craziest thing to me. In fact, the folder on my desktop that holds it is named verbatim. I somehow get fan art.
I mean, I just have we all have the strange filing systems that we made.
Oh god, let's not talk about my naming scheme. It is horrible.
I'm almost blame Jane guy. I think for filing names. What you don't get.
So I contain about a third of the Stella art that has been posted onto the Buru and into the Discord for Snoot Club. I have about a third of it saved to my hard drive.
I do want to point this one out. I forgot to bring it up. This is the first piece of fan art I ever got. It was a non-colored version of it that I tried to track down the guy that drew that, and he's just an anonymous name, no moniker tied to anything. And when I did track him down, he went, "Oh, cool," and then colored it. That son of a bitch.
You found me. Congratulations.
Yeah. So there you go.
So you found the hidden tingle, is what you're saying. Do you not know who Tingle is?
Oh, I know who Tingles, yes. I just, was assumed to let that float. I played Wind Waker, I played all the old stuff. I know about Tingle.
This
Tingle
guy's
is
30.
unsettling.
He was there. He was there when the Nintendo came out.
Do you know he has a series of games?
Yes.
No.
Yep. Tingle's Rosie Rupee Land and the other one, and that's name I can't remember off the top of my
I
head.
am aware of the Tingle games. My family was poor, so we got all the consoles 2 generations behind. So I was playing GameCube in 2011, well past the Wii. God, I love GameCube games. They're so cool.
The Tingle games are DS games, if I remember correctly.
I didn't get those. I'm aware of them, but I never got them. I got Fossil Fighters on the DS.
Yo!
Which leads, of course, this leads to dinosaurs being my autistic special interest.
There we go. Okay, yes. So there are 2 DS games, and one of them is not in English. It was only ever in Japanese. That's what it was. Look it up.
Nerd. I'd like to try them. I could probably dig my old DS up somewhere and get these games put into it. I'm sure they're region locked, though. The Japanese one, at least, is region locked, I'm sure.
You're just gonna get like a Japanese account, pretty much.
You gotta get a Japanese DS.
Oh, they just need to make an account to.
The DS age didn't have online accounts for things.
I only play superior visual novels and Fallout mods.
Which Fallout and which mods?
Let's see. I wasn't very impressed with Fallout yesterday for various reasons. It felt like a mod in the worst way. It felt painfully self-aware of its own inferiority, if I was to sound pretentious about it. The skill systems and the builds, they feel a little bit more gimmicky. and the weapon trees don't feel as realized as they were even at Fallout 1 and 2. You can get your hands on energy weapons a little earlier than you can in Fallout 1, which makes you wait like over half the game. And it feels like a weird ecclesiastian collection of some of Fallout Van Buren's better ideas, and then they're fumbled at the strongest points, and then some of the weaker ideas are pushed through with very little reflection or refinement. The maps are completely shit, and they get awful like the more you actually play the game. And there's questionable design choices. And if you look at what was like discussed in the No Mutants Allowed threads, like some of the earlier screenshots were a lot more promising. One of my favorite Fallout mods is just it's called Fallout Resurrection. Some people call it Fallout 1.5, and then there's Fallout. I think it's, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank here now. Fake fan. The Mercenary mods 1 and 2. MIB 8888 Megamod is pretty good when you can get it to run, but Killep's Restoration Patch is probably the best Puritan Fallout 2 experience you're going to get. So we're talking old school isometric Fallouts.
Yeah.
That was.
I assumed as much. Yeah.
I beat Fallout 1. I haven't gotten to Fallout 2 yet. Yes, I'm aware it's before my time. I've not tampered with mods for either of those either.
Coward.
I'd like to at least finish Fallout 2 first before I start modding those games. So Fallout 1 was what they said it was ahead of its time, and then Fallout 2 is like, yeah, no, this is way late for isometric point-and-click adventures, pal. And that was like its main criticism.
I have no clue because I was not like aware of the gaming meta back then, nor playing.
Yeah. What was it, 1996?
I think 1997 and 1998.
Predating me.
Yes.
Well, on the topic of video games, what's your favorite video game franchise?
Franchise? That's kind of hard. It's a tie-up between a couple. We're gonna say probably the Dragon Quest series.
Ooh.
Because I play, so I guess we'll talk about this. I play a lot of JRPGs, and I mean a lot of them. If you name one, there's a chance that I've either played it or have known enough about it to, have an opinion on it. But I have played mountains of JRPGs. My favorite, if we're just asking for favorite games, it's either Chrono Trigger or Team Fortress 2.
Okay. That's very good. Very good.
No clue. Haven't played any.
I would say the Chrono series would be my favorite, except I'm not really a fan of Cross because I hate the damn element system, and I hate that there's so many characters. Oh, another really good option there is the Suikoden 1, 2, and I think 4. I can't remember the other good one. The Suikoden games, the early ones are really good. The late ones are horrible.
So Scraggly brings up
Chrono Trigger is fucking...
Yes, of course I'm going to bring up Team Fortress 2. I have 4,000 hours in that game. Come on.
Jesus.
There it is. Have you seen this guy, Rocket Jump? He's fucking cracked.
I play a lot of Team Fortress 2, and I know a lot. Soldier.
Of course.
So, since I'm here to brag, I guess, I am ranked top 1,000 in the States on both Soldier and Demoman on Tempest, so... Sorry,
Jesus.
top 1,000 planet, top 300
Dog,
in the
that's
States.
half a year
Yeah. If it,
of playtime.
well, about that. So, I guess we'll talk about this as well. Fari knows about this because he's seen my Steam profile. I happen to have... Whoop, hit my microphone again. God damn this thing. Sorry about that. I have a lot of hours in Lonnie.
Quite a few.
And when I mean a lot, I do mean a lot of hours in Lonnie.
Go ahead and screenshot it and drop it in the chat so we can just...
I did.
We don't announce it. We just drop it here on the... Yeah.
Can I ask why? Why?
Same reason I have a lot of hours in Sam & Max Save the World.
Because it's funny.
Because you left your computer running one day and you had to go do shit. That's a little in excess of Sam & Max Save the World for me.
I think WriterAnon here is going for like the objectively quantifiable biggest Wani Hug That Gator fan. I mean, who has more hours than this? I think you might have this.
I don't know. I saw somebody on the review thing 4,000 hours, so I don't think so.
Oh, you got to catch
Yeah.
up.
But Jesus, that
Nope.
guy either.
Time to catch up.
I'm not gonna leave my computer on to do that. Whenever I'm on my PC, I just launch it in the background for fun.
I got my brother to play Wani last year, I guess, in June. He doesn't get it.
Oof.
So I guess would you be able to explain to somebody who doesn't understand why we like the Snoot game and the Wani characters or stories, why it is that we do, in a way,
Well,
just so that they can understand.
I would usually try to come from a place of shared knowledge to begin with. So I'd take it as like, if we had to go super bare bones and I couldn't like relate to something that we both know, I would just describe it as it's a VN, and if you don't know what a VN is, it's just a book, or effectively an interactive comic book, and it's just to tell a wonderful story about people learning who they are, how to interact with each other, and how to support each other through the lens of a high school where a new human boy comes and meets dinosaur women. A dinosaur woman, let's say.
The dream of anybody who played Fossil Fighters. The first game. Meeting dinosaur women. Are you aware of that plot point in Fossil Fighters?
Oh my fucking god! I just remember what you're talking about.
I can't
Yes. Yes,
Holy
the dinosaur
shit.
people of Fossil
That
Fighters
was-
who are trying
that
to take
was
over the
so-
world so that they can restart it with by reseeding it with dinosaurs to get more saurian people. But as it happens, what they
such
used
a
to seed got
fucking
wiped
weird
out,
line.
and
I'm
the
getting
dinosaurs we have just happened naturally.
I'm getting reports that apparently there are audio issues.
What do you mean there's audio issues?
I'm not certain.
Am I
I've
topping
just
out? That might be
Couldn't
it.
tell you.
What do you mean there's audio issues?
I don't know. I just see apparently a couple of people complaining about it. So
Who's I don't see it in my end. Why are they-
thread.
What?
But you didn't hear that from me. Thread, but you didn't hear that from me.
Oh,
Cool. All right, cool. That's good to know that
Oh,
4chan's aware of
poor.
this.
the board's looking at us now.
Yes, I believe somebody had posted the link there. That's fine.
You know?
Hello,
yeah,
board.
Fine.
It's
Eventually-
not my first imprint on the internet was going to be on 4chan.
Eventually, hopefully, we'll take some questions from chat. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can take questions from chat whenever they have questions.
But yeah, God, I just fucking remembered what you're talking about with that fucking plot line. Christ.
Or is it that they're using past experiences to try and fill in for this experience, being like, his audio is going to be fucked up again? Because it's not. I fixed it. I swear to you. I swear this to you. I fixed it. It is better.
All right, let's hope so.
I mean... Oh, Jeff is coming in here. If
Chiro
you've
Green, which one?
seen the Zero in green.
Is Chiro? Yes? No?
Chiro, yeah. I assume he's talking about the freezer one.
Yes.
Did you like it?
It was interesting, let's say. It was an interesting read. I'm not going to be like, no, I hated it. No. Where's Graham, you proofreader? Are you sure you want me to answer that question, Frag? Are you absolutely certain you want me to answer that question?
Holy schmoly!
Holy crap, Lois.
So I looked at my my stats.
I mean, come on, it can't be any worse than a Goid fic.
No, he's sort of lining me up a softball here because the answer is his writing, Frag's writing. Yeah.
Jack
yes,
was trying to out Bear, but I think Bears has an okay grasp on.
Never met
writing.
the man.
Bears is cool.
Cool. Good to hear.
I suppose is the best way to say that.
That's the way to say it. Not mean to put you on blast, man.
All right. If you were to attempt to, or like if there is a concept you would want to have in one of these VNs, what would it be?
Concept. Can you be a little more specific?
All right. All right. So, well, like if there's like a basis aside from the regular high school setting.
Okay, so
Like,
an
broadest
additional
concept.
setting or some sort of like something I'd like to see addressed, maybe?
Yeah. Something addressed that's not necessarily
One of
what's
the-
been.
One of the things that I think is not done phenomenally in some of the stuff is the difference between how. So it's brought up a couple times in the games, and a couple fics of like the line between humans and dino people, right? And I think I haven't really seen or read anything that really goes into depth about that. Of like what kind of weird genetic problems or weird societal issues come up of that. I've seen certain things that Bonds has a little bit of that in it, of the societal thing. It's brought up in Snoot of being in a post-racial society. I think there's a fic set in the olden times that deals with some of that, but more of that sort of thing of like really using your medium, you know? If you're gonna have dinosaur people, I'm interested in how they work, you know? And that's the sort of thing that I'd like to see. Favorite writer in the fandom. What's your favorite green text from another writer? My favorite writer in the fandom, that's a hard toss-up. My two answers that I can't pick between the two of them, we're going to say, actually, that's unfair. Everybody that I've met as a writer is a phenomenal writer. And the three that I'll pick, because they're close friends and I admire their writing a lot, is Pigs, Warsmiths, and Farian. And he's right there, so... favorite green text from another writer is probably the Columbo green text, because, again, that's like a fic somebody dropped on there. Or probably something Warsmith has done. Probably one of the Judy ones was quite nice.
I
So-
Here's an interesting question. What ending do you feel like doesn't get as much representation for fics or just general discussion sense?
That's a hard one. I think most of the concepts are mostly well explored. I don't really find any gaps there because I would, be interested myself in that sort of thing. The only thing that I can say that I haven't seen like anything at all is like a post E4 Wani sort of thing of people, doing that. I've seen a couple green tech stuff. I've done it myself of them, living to be happy, blah, 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 blah. But I've really seen nothing in that department. To answer the other question for Chat, have you read the Green Anon Goes Golfing with Ripley? I don't think so, unless you mean the one that I've written. Because I do have one of those sort of things.
Oh yeah, Rather Devious is bringing up something that I talk about just quite often when
Yes.
I'm not being watched, of clothing alterations for the Saurians.
Yes. In fact, I believe I've talked directly with Devious about this, is the beddings and clothing and things like that.
Using
For, dinosaur
cars
people.
or sitting in any sort of chair, they would definitely have extra divots to accommodate for back ornamentation. I think as far as mass production of clothing goes, they wouldn't have a bunch of different sections for the ornamentation. They just have zippers.
No, Magic Putter is not mine. I have not read it, Jack. I'm sorry.
Just two sets of zippers that can feasibly fit either wings or plates or spikes in, I think is the answer to mass production of dinosaur clothing.
Call me boring, but I'm interested in that sort of like low down dynamics that really is just glossed over.
It's
most of
really
the time.
fucking fascinating to me, and they just never
Yeah.
address it. Like, you see how they work with tails, how they just have like a strap that buttons over,
Yep.
on the
That's
thing
what started.
to
Whenever I
divide.
saw that first thing, I was like, huh, that's a really interesting thing. Is like, it's probably got to be different fabrics so that the scales don't catch that sort of thing, etc., etc.
I mean, it could be still the same fact. Just the idea that there's that little bit of I guess not alteration at that point, but there's a little bit of design to accommodate for Saurians. And I'm sure there'd be something like multiple buttons that the strap can hook to accommodate different tail circumferences at the base.
Yeah, I'd seen discussions about that there'd be like sets of clothes for certain things. So like really big tails would have.
I think
certain,
that'd just
like,
be another
notch.
sizing measurement.
Well, exactly that sort of thing. Like a sort of big and tall would be long neck or something along the lines in that sort of universe, with very slight alterations for clothes that you can set that have just a generic like, oh, do you have small tail, big tail? If you're a big tail, you go here and you adjust to the size as need be, etc., etc., that sort of thing.
Or sweatpants just having more fabric on the elastic head, and elastics would probably get fucking advanced decades.
Oh,
frankly,
yeah, no,
we'd have better elastic.
I find those sort of discussions interesting. Things along those lines.
Well, yeah, it's really fucking interesting.
All right, here's a fun one. What's your favorite dinosaur? Like no character, just like dinosaur in general.
So that's funny because I didn't care much for dinosaurs, and I still don't care that much for dinosaurs, even being part of the fandom. The answer probably is going to be just a T-Rex. I like the big chompy T-Rexes. Or I am a fan of the Deinosuchus, the Protogators. Those are fun too.
Oh, nice.
All right. So theoretically, if you had to choose somebody in this room to go caving with, who would it be?
Have we outed you for this? Do I need to say this, or is this public knowledge already?
This is not public knowledge.
Then the answer is I'm not sure. Let's say you, Oates.
Yeah. Am
Yeah,
I really
let's
that
go
trustworthy a figure?
No.
Just no.
No, if I'm going to go caving, I'm preparing for my funeral, I suppose. I'm good. I don't need to squeeze myself into, small spaces.
You're a coward. You'll be remembered as such.
You know what? I talked about this before. I have hay fever. I'm allergic to going outside. I don't need to go into caves.
The cave is the one place you'll be able to survive. You have no predators there.
Jack Pass, the answer to that
Nothing will
question
harm.
is size 15, extra wide.
We wear
Humans
the
have
same
no
fashion.
natural predators when looking at a goddamn lion. We have tons of natural predators. We're just smarter than most of them.
I said he would have no natural predators in the cave. No, nothing to flare up his hay fever.
Except, dirt.
I fucking love that picture so much.
You can't be allergic to the dirt. I refuse to believe that. Here's an actual serious question, since I'll be the one serious, objective-oriented individual here. What do you think about this upcoming fan game called Dinosaur with Double D's?
I think you mean the dinosaur with double D's.
I think it's a spiritual successor to the Snoot franchise. Have you heard of this?
I have, yes. Somebody else pointed out before. No opinion, let's say. Not for me. If you enjoy it, great. You go have fun.
It just seems like it's just a blatant shitpost from what I'm looking at.
It is.
Yeah, I'm gifting you this on Steam, by the
I
way.
saw the 3D fucking T-Rex, the 3D modeled T-Rex with massive tits, and I said, "Oh yeah, this is a shitpost, all right."
Yeah, when are we playing this on stream?
I'll do that
Good
tonight.
Lord.
Actually, I've been freed up
No.
due to events. It's either that or I go through the new 2 chapters of devlog. I still haven't
let me
played
know.
those.
Let me know when you get on that so I can join in.
I'll think about it.
Okay, pretty please.
All right, Ryder. One of the more important questions: are you a waifu fag, and if so, who's the waifu?
Jet Fang and Olivia. I'm very, very boring.
I
They're my favorites. Those are the best ones. I like them the best.
Would you ever think
All right,
about?
now gun to your head. You have to choose.
Fang. Very, very. If we're going numerical wise, Fang would be 100 and Olivia 99.
You hear that, guys? He hates Olivia.
You hear that, guys? He doesn't want to eat baryonic axe.
You hear that, guys? He thinks 70 pounds is too many pounds.
As a
Should have made it
phenomenally
71.
funny
Wasn't
image.
enough.
Another fun fact about that: the first image I saw of Wani ever, the first thing I ever saw of it was the pool CG.
Good.
That's the first thing that I saw on the thread. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Would you ever display any of your fan art as a physical item in your house?
Oh God, probably not. It's great. I love every piece of fan art I get. I don't have posters at all, period. That would be a huge thing for me to put up, not only a poster, but a poster of something that someone's drawn of me. If I'm going to put up something, I've talked about this before, I would want to go with the absolute sociopath play and put up a gigantic portrait of myself in my house.
I mean, you can do that, I guess. Or like, sometimes you just feel like, hey, I love this thing so much, so you do that exact thing. You put a poster of it up in your house. Sorry, this picture's kind of blurry. Let me get you a close up.
Are you scared to reveal your power level?
A bit. I do have actual factual, like, high-level professional family members that visit from time to time. Like, I mean, I have doctors and lawyers in my family, so...
I mean, so do I.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Best
I'm the
snack
one person who
food I've been
chose not to have a degree, and so I'm just freer than the rest of them, I guess, because they still have student loans for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been asked best snack food. Let's cut this into two pieces. We'll do best candy and best non-candy. Best candy, in my opinion, I like Skittles. I'm a big fan of Skittles. You can just have a couple of them and they're great. Best non-candy is sort of chip. I think I'm leaning like Cheez-Its. They kind of taste awful, but my god, they're delicious.
I would have agreed with you 3 years ago, but I just can't eat. They make me feel so sick every time I eat them now.
Yeah, you have to have
as
like
far
two
as
of
candy
them.
goes, I like jujubes.
Can't say I've ever had those. What are they?
It's hard to explain, but they have a very particular flavor. It's old people candy.
Oh, I like.
They're also called juji fruits, depending on where you get them. And the juji fruits are shaped, but jujubes are like little tiny. They look like dots. They do not taste like dots. And they do not have the same consistency. They are relatively hard, semi-hard.
Oh, another contender for that. I can't think of the name of it. Damn it. The hard candy. They come in like little single wrapped things.
Where there's
usually
originals?
flavored. No, well, yeah, where there's two, but not caramel. Sugar candy, usually Technicolor, bunch of different flavors.
Jolly Rancher?
Yeah, Jolly Rancher. Thank you. Jolly Rancher's close second.
What the fuck do you mean, ew? What do you
Ew, he
mean
got
by
the
that,
ick.
dog?
Okay. Next question.
He
If
got
I
the
was
ick from that answer.
Doug, bro has the ick.
Okay, if I was stranded on a deserted island and I could leave logs around for someone to find, would I make a fake treasure map? No, I would try and make loss.
Alright, classic. I respect it.
That's
I'm
a
not
valid
funny.
decision.
Oh yeah, we can definitely tell you're 30 now.
Oh, I thought you were going to hit him with, we could definitely tell you're not funny. You're nicer than that.
Acceptable.
Sorry, just the pattern recognition is so funny that you can just ruin somebody's day with what is it?
Frag
10
is
lines.
asking. Frag is asking about black licorice. I hate black licorice. I think it tastes like tire rubber.
See, I'm
It's
surprised
gross.
that everybody here just moved past the whole Skittles is his favorite snack food. You really let him off
Skittles
the
aren't
hook for
real
that?
food.
Skittles?
As candy, favorite candy. If
He
we're going
likes
for
to taste
raw
the rainbow.
snack, then we'll say
Don't say it
like
like
I
that.
said, like Cheez-Its probably.
I
But
like the Skittles
it's the-
commercials where the guy has the Skittles touch and he just
No,
I don't-
kills people by touching
I
them.
don't like a full candy bar. I'm not really big on sweet. So if I want something sweet, I want like 1 or 2 little pieces. Same what like the Jolly Ranchers. Like that thing's tiny. Just one little one of those, great. Like 2 or 3 Skittles, phenomenal. I don't have to worry about it, right? Just
Skittles isn't even the best in its own weight class. You have M&Ms, you have peanut M&Ms, you have Reese's Pieces.
Peanut M&Ms are good. Reese's Pieces are pretty good too. I don't like chocolate very much, especially not like American chocolate. So
Yeah,
that
Fine.
is
I appreciate you bringing weight classes into this.
Ryan, do you want to like bring up the
Follow-up for
candy
this,
tier
or-
list and just have that fill out real quick?
I don't eat a lot of candy. I've got like 4 things I could put on there.
What is the weight class of Skittles?
Well, I don't have a name for it. It's the fucking pellet-sized snack food. It's the
Feather
size of a
Redlands,
Skittle, okay? All right, the new
No, the weight-
Smarties also fall into there.
No,
Yeah,
the
sure.
weight,
You know
the
what?
weight
Sure.
class for Skittles is that you think they're M&Ms and you're disappointed when you eat them.
Yes.
I seem to have sparked a debate about Skittles sometimes.
I like to chew them up and then spit them on the
I'm
ground so that
friend.
people
I knew
step
you
on them
weren't
and get them
normal.
stuck to their shoes.
I knew
Well, that's
you
'cause
weren't
I'm a little
normal.
evil.
This just confirms it.
Skittles are too sugary for me, frankly.
I get that.
I just don't like them.
Listen,
Or-
jujubes is one that's literally flavored as lavender.
Every sane, rational person intuitively dislikes Skittles on a premise by which they don't have to define or elaborate on. They just know it. They know it in their soul.
These are just bad. This is just not candy.
Yeah, don't eat these.
Jam's trying to fight me, but
Jam.
Jam,
you're an
I
idiot
agree.
on
I
that
hard
one.
agree, actually.
No, Smarties.
Smarties
are
just
great.
don't. The Smarties aren't good.
I've heard Canadian Smarties are good. I've only ever had the American powdery things that are effectively just chalk, but you know.
Well, yeah, you know how those were made off of some machine that's supposed to make something for ammunition.
Yeah, so it's when it produced gunpowder in the little tablets so they could add it incrementally to charges. When those got outsourced, replaced, they became repurposed as candy-making machines.
Oh, gunpowder candy, how fun.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right. I'm half gun.
Well, it tastes like lockjaw.
Yeah, we've been making them for a while, so I'm sure all the gunpowder's rubbed off by now.
Damn.
Pop it on eBay to buying some
I've
of the
become
the
I'll be the
vintage
gun
first
devil in a
batches.
minute. So.
I wonder if this tastes different. That's an explosive flavor.
All right, I got one more quick question.
Fire away.
What are your thoughts on the community as a whole?
Well, that's a pretty big one. Which aspects would you please break it down
Just
to me?
just general sense. Do you feel like it's pretty chill, welcoming, a lot of creative people in there?
Well, okay, I will give you this. It seems to have an overwhelming abundance of creatives. I don't join fandoms, quote unquote, very often. I'm usually just an outside observer. This is my one-off strange one. From what I'm seeing, from the average person, it's like 3 non-creatives to 1 creative. It is a humongously large number. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I will say that I'm very impressed with that so far. I think it's been drawing a lot of people that have a lot of good ideas and are very interesting to listen and see what they draw or write, that sort of thing. I'm very impressed on that front.
Yeah.
On top of that, in general, I wouldn't call it the most welcoming. It's a little off-putting. It's from 4chan. I wouldn't be surprised, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I wouldn't call it actively super duper hostile to new people, depending on where you're looking. If you come straight to the thread, you are kind of asking for it, but that's, well...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is. But other than that, I don't have much opinion on comparing it to anything else like that, other than, like I said, I'm very impressed with the amount of creatives that I've run into and the cool people that I've interacted with. But it's nice. I think it's good. I wouldn't change much for it, no.
Okay.
Are you a fellow keyboard autist?
Slightly. I do enjoy my old keyboards. I do need a clacky one. I have had this low impact one for a while because I did want a low impact one just because this thing was like $30 and it's a good low impact keyboard. The normal price of it is like $150. So, but I do miss my super duper clacky keyboard. The last one I had like a super duper taut brown switches on it. And my God, that thing sounded like rain on a tin roof, and I loved it. And I do need to get way before that, I had an ancient IBM when I was like 16. And that shit was great, and it died. And I have been sort of aching for another one eventually, but they're resoundingly expensive, and I would kind of just rather, not have to go find an adapter for a old keyboard. My current PC does not have an adapter for that. But eventually I ought to go get one. I don't build them myself. I have taken them apart and played with switches, and I've swapped the things like that, but I've never gone full ground-up build. No.
Neither have I. I just run the Model M's.
Yes.
I grab whatever I can find in the dumpster, and I use that.
Repurposing.
People throw away perfectly functional shit. It's a disgrace, really.
I have a friend that does a bunch of e-waste collecting stuff. He goes to like the big e-waste graveyards. And
E-waste collecting is how I built my first computer that was cromulent.
Yeah, and from the stuff that I've seen him drag out of there, it's like people sometimes just get tired of things and throw them away, and it's wild to me. Like,
It's
Jesus.
stupid.
Dude, I found a whole click-clack that was just like intact, and I took it.
That's where I got my bedside table from. Was it just I found it in a dumpster. And I'm like, this is a perfectly good wooden table. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I know it's a little off topic from electronics, but like, I love dumpster diving.
I get what you're coming from. Yeah.
I love dumpster diving. It's great.
Chiro's spirit animal right here.
I keep a schedule of all the nearby apartment complexes move out days. And I wait like a day or two behind that, and that's where you get the good shit. Otherwise, you gotta actually sift through garbage bags.
Yeah. I've got a Corsair K70, I think. Might be K80. I forget the number, Jack.
Dude,
yeah,
this guy found a 3090 in the trash.
Yes. People throw stuff
What
away
the
for all
fuck?
kinds of reasons. It's e-waste places are like the best value you can ever get for things, especially if you know how to repair computer components and you have like a soldering iron. Absolutely.
I gotta go find a local e-waste recycler. That means
Me too.
shit.
Yep. If you're in a bigger city, they usually have the place that like.
I am not in a bigger city. I live.
Yeah,
in
I
Jumptown.
get that. Neither am I. But yeah.
I have a decent computer, but I got all the parts on Amazon.
Question. Do you have a beard as big as the one on your avatar?
My current real life beard is longer than that one.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
He's a real wizard.
You're not gonna be
Wizard
beating my plumbing instructor for a length of beard. He has it down to his belt.
No, my beard's not that long though.
That guy's crazy.
Anyway, we can get a beard docs.
Not on stream, but I might send one to you privately eventually.
Gotcha.
When he trusts you enough.
I gotta build up the WriterAnon trust
We'll see.
meter.
Yeah.
In the
He's
in
gotta
the
build up
fairy
the
and-
right.
in
He's
the-
gotta build a max rep for that.
Gotta
one.
find a good picture of myself.
in the fairy and visual novel, I have to pick all the right dialogue choices with WriterAnon in order to unlock the beard CGs.
Ryder has the Merlin beard.
Sorry, my cat knocked
Not
something over.
Not that long, no. It only goes down just very slightly longer than the one on my little avatar. Speaking of, I'll go and chill this too. Coolbug drew this for me. He's a great dude. Great artist. He draws stuff all the time. Completely unprompted, might add. He does this all the time. I did ask for this specifically, but yes. Big shout out to Coolbug. We love him a lot.
Good feller.
We'll get him.
I really like how he draws schizo.
He's a very good artist, yes.
It's great.
So is the beard the source of your writing prowess then?
Funnily enough, I can actually transition this in the actual topic. I think it's age. I think as I've been getting older and other people have been getting older, I think that with the life experience and the just general like exposure to things and talking to people, I think it is making me a better writer. I'm not
So it's the beard.
for sure. Yeah, well, yeah, it's the beard, of course. I'm not certain on that, but I do feel that I am a better writer than I was like when I was 18. And I think, and I've not practiced at all, and I think just the natural like progression of age has made me better.
Good old frontal lobe development kicking in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into the brain development stuff, but I feel like
brain
age
lit-
does make you a more
brain
level
lit.
person who's able to understand different points of view easier, unless you've lived a super sheltered life. And when I say super sheltered, I mean like you have never talked to anybody outside of your own family.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be like fucking a high-headed idiot, and now I'm like, doesn't matter.
I'm still relatively hot-headed, but I don't let that show through when I'm in social situations.
Yeah, I don't know what to follow that up with.
I consider myself pretty level, all things considered. I don't really get super duper upset. I can get heated, sure, but rarely.
Yeah.
So who was the first quote snoot personality end quote that you ran into? You know, when meeting people in the community.
Directly speaking to, or just running into a named person in the thread?
Directly speaking to, like the
That
first
would be
person
Pig.
you had.
The
One more
first
time?
person that would be Pig. The first person that directly spoke to me, of like sought out to directly talk to me, was Pig.
Nice.
Yep, I had made a Discord account and I joined the big thing, and I was like, look, if anybody needs to reach out for anything, or you need to like DM me if I'm, because whatever. I just thought it'd be a point that I could be reached in a second way in case somebody wanted to, because it seemed I was noticing that people were trying to track when I was around. I was like, huh, I've never been popular before. What do I do? So I ended up doing that, and I was like, okay, maybe somebody will contact me. And then after like a week, Pig was like, hey, you want to hang out? And I did. That's how that started.
Was there a collaborative effort?
There was a couple people. It was Pig mainly, and then they started. I guess I could talk about this. There's a small group of people that all know each other. And I branched out from that. It's the same way I met Coolbug, the same way I met like Frag, and a bunch of the other writers, a bunch of the other artists, and that's where it stemmed from. Is Pig being like, hey, come talk to all these other people. I met a bunch of cool people, and the most recent person I met was Cat Heady, and that's crazy because Cat Heady's art is insane. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, to be able to be an aloof little goose.
Yeah, that's the start there. If I got quote unquote ingrained in the community, let's say.
The
I met you?
trash terror cell.
Yeah. That,
The global snoot cabal.
yes, Coolbug does write. Very sparsely, but he does.
So, any ongoing or current endeavors, like any large projects planned?
The Tarja thing is still a bit on hiatus because I've been just so resoundingly busy that I haven't really had time for that. And other than that, no. I try not to tie myself to too many projects, and if I'm going to have one, I would like to focus and finish it. So that is the only one, and that will be done before I do anything else. I guarantee that. It's going to take some more time because it takes a lot of effort to get into like the full-on writing that. Because I'm not great at writing longer stories. I'm not going to pretend here. So it does take effort for me to get into that sort of thing. I have to reread, I have to get into the flow, blah, 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 blah. But yes, that will be happening before any other bigger projects happen.
Yes, the opposite philosophy to me, where I have many projects going on.
No, I learned the hard way of if you start too many projects, you start being able to miss deadlines on projects. So no.
Well, I don't have
That
any
is a-
strict deadlines, really.
No,
because
I got that
manage
ingrained.
most of
Yeah,
them
go ahead.
that I'm on.
Yeah, part of being an adult life is once you start having deadlines you have to hit, you learn pretty quick not to do that. So yes, I thankfully am better, or pretty good about not doing that. I do not start a billion different things, and yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to think about other things while you're at work. Dangerous jobs and all that. Keeps me in Wranglers.
Well, if anybody has any more questions from the chat, or I guess I'll poke my head in the thread if you guys,
If you want to poke your head in the thread.
Well, I've been quite... So, I'll peel back the veil a bit. I watch it all the time. I very rarely will either announce my presence or even say anything, but I will poke my head in there and look to see what's going on all the time. Even when I'm busy, I'll find some time during the day to like open on my phone or something. I do like keeping pace with those people. So yeah, I do have the thread on me. If you'd like to ask questions, go right ahead.
You hear that, guys? WriterAnon loves you very much. He thinks about you all the time.
I do enjoy you guys, yes.
Very good things.
Yeah, if anybody has any
Would you
questions or
ever
anything, go
become
right
a
ahead.
writer for a fan game?
Maybe. If I was to do that, I don't consider myself the best writer. I'm not gonna pretend here. The one thing I will say I'm pretty good at is I'm good at consistency, and I'm good at dialect choice and grammar. If I was to do that, I would love to be like, hey, would you like to give this an editorialization pass? Absolutely. To be a major writer, I don't think I'm up to that. I think you're better off getting other people like Farian here, or maybe Warsmith or Pig.
Oh, don't you? I've never been a help to anybody in my entire life.
Don't you fucking say that to me.
Don't say that.
I'm looking at my Google Docs right now.
You have to hold me at gunpoint in order to get me to actually move.
I mean...
No, Frag, I've talked about this before, Frag, and I'll say it again. I'm a straight man. It is a lot harder for me to write male-male content than it is male-female. We're going to keep to the normal pace, thank you.
Oh shit, Shido's here.
What other fandom would I write for? Asked Devious. That is a hard one.
Jade Leno.
This one's going to make me sound wildly autistic here, but Dragon Ball, sure, we'll call it there.
Krillin posting.
Quiet you. But
Sorry,
no,
my bad.
If I was forced to, that's where I would probably land because I do enjoy me some shonen slop. Absolutely. Other than that, no. This is a real outlier for me. I've never been a writer before this. This just sort of happened to me.
Jack Pass is asking, what writing pitfall do you see happen to the other projects that you've seen or
Okay,
have been around?
So one thing I think is over interaction with the community. So I'm really cool about, or really not cool with whenever projects really like to just like every step of the way they're like, oh, we're going to give every single thing we do as an update or have input on every single thing they do. One of the main problems I have is that if you are going to have a big project like this, if you start to bring in a super duper fat amount of opinions, I believe you're diluting your core idea. Too many cooks spoil the pot and all yada yada yada. You get that idea. I would prefer if people are a little bit quieter. One thing I have seen is that devlog's pretty hush hush about stuff except for the demos. I appreciate that kind of thing. But I would advise people to be more tight and controlling on the things they put out.
So yeah, I think I agree with that general advice. I'll see people now
Not me.
telegraph every last thing they do ahead of time.
I think keeping a little bit of mystery and keeping a little bit of like, because especially with things like mistakes, the less you show people and the more curated things you show people, the easier it is for you not to show blatant mistakes and make yourself look bad. Things like that. If you keep it tight, keep it quiet, keep it concise, stick to a schedule, do sort of management stuff. I hate to say it, but you bring on somebody that knows how to do management things, bring somebody that's been project leads, blah, blah, blah. But keep it more tightly managed, I think, was the best thing I could say to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. So Monster Meatball, who we've spoken before, hello, asked favorite bands, music artists, albums. Bands, I have a strange taste in music. I like old disco and old house music. I like Daft Punk. I like Disco Stars. I like, hold on, let me get my playlist up. Eric Prides. I like, let's see here. Uppermost, which is not really disco, but you get the idea there. A bunch of that sort of stuff. Favorite artist, we'll just say Daft Punk. They're like the goats. That one's easy peasy. Favorite albums, that one's kind of hard. I don't care too much for full album stuff. I'm not in the like prog rock or like major rock ballads that do like full album experiences. Sorry, I got the hiccups. So I don't really latch onto those too much. Random Access Memories is beautiful, that sort of thing. So we'll say Random Access Memories, and then for I can give you a huge fat list of other old disco stuff or direct songs if you'd rather. I like Discotheques and the Sexolex. That's a good one. I like old R&B too. I have a pretty wide taste in music, but my specific favorites is disco.
sorry, I had to get up and feed my cats.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Yes, I will field any more questions if anybody has anything. Like I said, I have the thread open too. I see you guys in there. If you want to ask questions in the thread, I will get it. I will answer your question here. If you're
So, what's the consensus?
What do you think about Columbo?
Columbo as a
Television
character.
show. Yes.
Oh, it's a wonderful television show. If I could, that's a weird way to pronounce it. It's a wonderful TV show because it expects you as the viewer to engage with it in a way that not a lot of TV shows do. Of that you are given all the information immediately, which is a weird thing because it's not trying to string you along in suspense. It's instead going, how is Columbo going to solve this? Which is an interesting way to go about his character rather than being like, oh, how is this going to work out? It's more like, oh, how is he going to do this as like his own intelligence thing? And the way he interacts with people and manipulates people is really interesting to see. I'm a very big fan of the TV show.
I think it's really interesting because the concept limits where evidence can come from. Because it shows you everything involved. He can't just pull some bullshit out of nowhere that you hadn't seen before.
And because of that, I think it's a very phenomenally written television show. It's one of the goats.
Speaking as one of those base Columbo cells, I have every episode ever on DVD here. I watched them all over the summer.
Good choice.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of the detectives, have you ever played Disco Elysium?
I have, and I've gotten other people to play.
Nice.
I enjoy that game quite a lot.
Yeah.
Any of the Yakuza games. I have tried some of them, but they're not quite my style of JRPGs, the later ones, and the action games I'm not the biggest fan of either. They're good. I'm not going to tell you they're bad. They're not quite my sort of thing that I enjoy.
They are definitely out there in a specific taste, but they own up to it.
Oh, they're good. I'm not going to tell you they're not
Yeah.
good. They're great. Just not, they don't really scratch the itch for me.
Yeah.
So I really like the cheesier games. I like the old JRPG games, how they're just goofy and they know they're goofy.
Yes,
They don't have to stop them.
I love all kinds of JRPGs, all of them. I played every Final Fantasy from 1 to 12, 13, 1 to 13.
Wasn't there a game
except for
that
the
was on
MMO.
the phone that was Final Fantasy?
Several.
Wasn't that-
Which ones?
Oh, like early on, like for pre-BlackBerry, there's a Final Fantasy game.
There's a bunch of ports. I can't remember if there's any Final Fantasy specific ones, but I played a couple of the phone ports, which they're not great. Just play the normal ones.
Yeah.
I played, let's see, Mystic Quest is a weird. Don't play that one. GBA, terrible. Don't play that one. I played. If we want to talk about JRPGs, I can go on a long tirade, but I'll just stop it here. I played lots of them. So if you have an opinion or need a recommendation, come to me. So we'll
Okay,
stop
what's
there.
the best Final Fantasy game?
In which way? Story or gameplay?
You personally, any way that you want.
My favorite is 10 because of the story.
Okay.
Gameplay, I think 7's a little tighter in the gameplay department. I think that you can break 7 because it's old game, but I think it's more of a smooth sort of thing. Where 10, once you hit post game in 10, it's just like it's time to grind, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How many countries have I visited? 2. I've been to America and Mexico. And I live in America, so we can't. So 1 if we're not counting America. Okay. Let's see.
I
here.
went to Canada once.
I'm asked,
Big
do you
mistake.
have any specific fan characters you enjoy writing about? My favorite fan character to enjoy writing about. That's kind of hard. I do enjoy writing about the fan kids when they specifically have Anon as a parent. So like Cynthia with Anon as a parent, or Sarah is with Anon as a parent, that sort of thing. Because I think they each have different and unique interactions with their parents that are very, very wildly different for each one. So like, in example, like I usually have written like Maria and Anon, of Maria talking about being like a black sheep of the family, and Anon being like, that's fine, and helping her come into her own and that sort of thing. How many languages? 1.5. Se hablo español un poquito. No hables very well. If you want to talk programming languages, I can speak Java and Python, but I don't think those count.
I mean, yeah. If a dumbass like me can pick up RenPy to make something, I'm sure you working in the IT field have a better chance of anything. If I can learn how to code for at all, anybody can.
Somebody asked, what times you consider the comfiest in the threads? Usually right about at the start of the night, so about this time, as a matter of fact. There's not a lot of people, and it's the Passover from people that are going to bed in American times to people waking up in European times, and there's just not a lot of people hanging out. I usually show up earlier in the day because I think that's the most active, and I think that's when most people have a chance to catch me. That's so usually when I try and show up, and that's where my schedule lines up anyway. But about this time, maybe a little later. Another question of, do you hate a certain person in the community? No. No, not really. I like pretty much everybody I've met. So
That's good.
Do you have a favorite little creature in the community?
a favorite what?
Favorite little creature? Favorite person in the community that you've met?
Oh, a gremlin?
Not necessarily as a creator, but
That's a hard one. Who's the most of the gremlins of my favorites? That's a tough question to actually answer. Let me go look at my list of friends.
He has them all ranked, by the way. He keeps
Yeah, sure.
I mean, so do I. Have you not seen the TISM tier list? I ranked you all.
We're gonna
You
say
did?
best. We're gonna say best day. Best day is a bit of a creature.
Best day shout out.
Oh yeah.
I'm still impressed with his cheese sandwich photo, where he sent me a photo of 2 hamburger buns, and it was just like several pieces of cheese stacked between the 2.
The most grilled cheese you've ever seen in your life.
It wasn't even grilled. I think it was just eating it cold. It was a fucking vegan cold cut sandwich. No, not a vegetarian cold cut sandwich. That's what I'm gonna call it now. It's the vegetarian cold cut. 64 slices of American cheese head ass.
Speaking of cold cuts, what's your favorite Subway combo to get? What's your favorite Subway sub to consume?
Tie up between Philly cheesesteak and meatball sub. Yes, did I vote? And if so, who did I vote for? I'm not going to answer that, but I did vote. Tell me something.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You start first.
Oh yeah. Are you a console player or are you a PC guy?
PC always. I've owned a couple of consoles, but I've had a PC my entire life. Somebody asked, tell me something from the 80s. That's before my time. I was born in 94, Bal. The late 80s, so I guess we could have stuff. If you've ever seen Stranger Things, okay, here's a fun one. Everywhere used to be really, really brown. There used to be ashtrays everywhere.
What do you mean? Everything still is really brown.
I mean interiors. Interior design used to be shades of brown for everywhere, and there used to be ashtrays everywhere. There you go.
Can we bring back...
That's a holdover from the 80s.
Can we bring back ashtrays, please, and cars?
Which character would you kill, I'm asked for? I guess Anon? I've done that before. I've done several things of Anon dying, so...
You guys hear that? WriterAnon hates Anon. It's his least favorite character.
He hates you, chat. That's right.
He hates literally you.
Have you ever considered calling one of those phone numbers that you find in a gas station bathroom?
No.
What is your favorite?
You?
I did.
How'd that go?
Well, I'm
pretty
here.
well.
Good for
Fariancy, after
That's how
all.
we met. Yeah, that's how we met.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
What is your
explore my cave called Farian?
What?
Anyway, what'd you
What's your favorite foreign food?
Yes, I saw that. Favorite foreign food. That's kind of difficult. I'll say I have a bias because we have this local Chinese place that's run by Chinese people that is absolutely amazing and probably has a health code rating of B-, but that place is great. So we'll say Chinese food. If we didn't have that place nearby, probably some sort of like Mexican food because the place I live has really good Mexican food. So, but if you want a specific dish, then for Chinese food, it's going to be beef pan fried noodles. And for Mexican food, I would say probably smothered burrito. Favorite older cartoon? We talking cartoon or anime? If we're talking anime, probably either Cowboy Bebop or Trigun. If we're talking cartoons,
hell yeah,
probably either OG Bugs Bunny stuff or Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Or let me think for a second. It's been a long time since I've seen cartoons.
Eddie, just say Ed, Eddie.
Ed, and Eddie, thank you. Yes,
Yeah, there we go, baby.
An actual answer. I would agree heavily with that.
Yo, Mandy, we're going to the button factory for the school field trip, Mandy.
Would you kill E2 Olivia if she was abusive to Trent? I'm not predisposed to violence. That would be I will call CPS. Thank you.
What is the point in which you think killing somebody is okay for something you did?
That's a philosophical debate. It's
rough.
There's a line, I don't know where it is, but yes, I do support the death penalty eventually. So
Come on, surely you have to be able to draw at least a vague utilitarian line.
God, I don't know, dude. That is not something I often think about.
I don't know. Like even the simplest, like more brain dead case of this guy's about to shoot two people, ergo it's.
There's a difference there. Like if you're talking about the trolley problem, yes, I can pull the trolley.
Well, not even the trolley problem. Not necessarily the foregone conclusion of violence as an ultimatum, but
eventually. Well, but yes, I will say yes. I don't know where the line is for me. That'd be a deeper philosophical, internal thing I'd have to look at. I'm
not worth getting into on stream.
It's not. I don't have a direct answer for you on stream. I'd have to meditate it on a while.
Favorite alternative romances?
Yeah, I saw. Favorite alternative romances. That's a pretty hard one. In what I would need some more. Actually, I'll just answer this in the multiple ways. Okay, so my favorite, I guess, that I would like to see written or things I enjoy writing is I do enjoy the Anon Stella because I do enjoy the way they mesh together.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, I also enjoy the sort of like Anon Rosa. I've written that, of course. I'm just going to answer for all of them, aren't I? No, okay, we'll just stick with those two. Stella and Rosa, we'll say.
Elisa Mommy is saying over the course of many sentences,
I
many
can see that,
messages, you can suck a fart directly out of, I assume, my ass.
Twins, teens, or children? Oh, do I? Okay, we'll start. Burritos, tacos, or nachos? Probably burritos. I do prefer that a little bit. I've had better tacos than I've had burritos, and I think nachos is the 3 out of there because it's just like a middling ad. Nachos not great, but we'll say burritos close second, tacos distant third, nachos. Do you have pets? Yes, I have a dog and a cat. Do you prefer twins as teens or children? That's kind of difficult. I kind of prefer them as just like fun little like just right on the cusp of turning into a teenager and coming to that of like they're starting to become teenagers but not quite. I find children kind of hard to write because I have to really go out of my way to change their dialogue because children think differently than adults. So we'll say teens.
Children don't
there.
hide things when they talk.
Yeah. Well, also, if you're writing from a children's POV, they look at everything differently, and it's hard to do that. Okay. Which ending on do you consider the most versatile for alt ships for him? 2 or 3, in my opinion there. 3 if you go for the cutoff before he leaves to cause something to happen as a breakoff, or post-ending 2 and he's just like, fuck this, I'm going somewhere else. Are you a gooner? No.
Are you lying?
Also no.
We don't like gooners around here. It's why 2 of our 10 rules are don't do that.
Chunky or smooth peanut butter? Probably smooth. Chunky, fine. Yes, I enjoy both. They're close, but probably smooth because I think smooth goes in things better than chunky does. So, like, just from the sheer fact, I would put them equal, but because chunky is like, it turns anything you put it into chunky, you know? But smooth is like, it can go in things and not turn it into chunky. Jelks and the Beast. All right, bud.
You regular? You didn't tell us. You've never invited us, never live streamed it.
Okay. What did you think of Goodbye Volcano High? I've talked about this privately before.
During the jelking streams.
Quite you. I like a lot of the setup that it had, but I constantly felt that they set these plot points up and then immediately drop them. They set up things like my biggest gripe with that is the meteor for sure. I thought surely it would be, as the game progressed, that it would be some sort of big deal to cause a lot of things, not just be a gigantic metaphor, or, you know, at least if you're going to do a gigantic metaphor, show some actual consequence or something along those lines. And then it was a giant, like, oh, nobody even... The only times you see, like, the place emptying out, and it's mentioned offhand, it's not a driving force. So I had problems with that. But they set up a lot, and it's a lot of missed potential sort of stuff. There's all of these interesting things that could have been explored. Could have been like society's collapse, or metaphor as changing from teen into adulthood, or acceptance sort of things and things like that. Or even have the characters react to it differently, of like, oh, suddenly a lot of character changes coming from this, showing like a change from a teen adult, blah, 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 blah. Never shown. I feel that there's a huge wasted potential at every turn, and then just ends in a wet fart. So, unfortunately, I do like a lot of the setups they have. I don't care much for a lot of the characters, but there's just so much they leave on the table that just, like, rubs me so very the wrong way. All right, let's see here. Thoughts on Leo? I don't know much about Leo. I just write him as being, like, a sort of a depressed sort of loner. Least favorite ship. Let's see, least favorite ship. That's kind of hard.
You've got a wide variety to choose from.
It's the only... So, I don't really have any I dislike. There's ones that I can't write. Like, I can't write lesbian relationships because I'm, A, not a woman, and B, have never been in a lesbian relationship. So, fucking... I can't do that. But I don't mind them, I guess. But... I don't really have an answer for you. I guess it would be something involving Trish, because a lot of people really like to just turn it into just smut at that point, and I'm not the biggest fan of smut. But I've seen plenty of good Trish ships, and it's like... So that's your only real answer I have, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I mean, if you want the easy answer, just say you don't like the incest ones. I
mean, well, yeah, that's a given. I thought he meant actual sort of ship stuff like that. Okay, if you could have any car, which would you get? Probably some sort of just regular, nice, easy to maintain cars. I'm not a car guy. You're barking up the wrong tree on that. Some sort of like hybrid, and not to worry too much about that. All right, thoughts on current video game to TV series movie adaptations? So some are good, most are really bad. There's a couple, the Sonic movies I thought were really fun, and I have a friend who is a massive, massive Sonic fan, and you know the type, and he loved it too, and I was like, okay, that's good to hear that they're doing right by that. I'm a fan there.
Yeah.
So it's really hit and miss. Some great, most not great.
For every Sonic movie we get a Halo TV show.
Right. Thoughts on Green as a character ignoring ships? I like some of the things to do with Green. I like the sort of the way he isolates himself, the sort of depressed teenager that's really reliant on his family, even though it kind of like worries him. I enjoy that kind of sort of thing. Scrag in the thread again. Thank you. Very cool. Opinion on Baryonyx love bites? Great, sure. I like berries. They're great. I like Nick. I like Olivia. They're fine. Good. Thoughts on background characters? I don't care for much of them because I don't know anything about them. I don't like to try and adopt too many characters or adopt characters at all, like things like I've talked about with Mikola. I don't want to be the driving force for like a new character and things like that because I don't consider myself that great of a writer. I can throw in things that I think, things along those lines, but I don't think I have the prowess to be like, this is my character and you guys are going to love it because I'm not that guy. I can help, sure. So, like I said, most background characters, they don't have enough. I can't do it there. Sorry. Some of the ones that I do know, some of the more prominent ones, like I could do Reeve and things like that, or sort of like Stacy a little bit, I suppose, but they're a little bit too far out of my wheelhouse to have much to do with.
Least favorite genre to write?
All right. Oh, which one do you find less agreeable, Snoot Trish or Goodbye Volcano High Trish? That's a real hard one because I've talked at length about this. Is they both have some very interesting problems going on with them. Less agreeable, I would say. I understand where Goodbye Volcano High Trish is coming from more than Snoot Trish, but they're just about the same in like not treating others' emotions correctly. I'll say GVH Trish ekes out slightly under Snoot Trish because of this, and so we'll say Snoot Trish is very slightly less agreeable. Do you condemn Israel? Okay. Let's see here. Least favorite genre to write? Let's see here. The things that I'm probably not good at, that I've only ever tried once, is like the horror genre, so that probably. Thriller, I'm not great at. So let's say that. Horror and thriller, because I'm not good at it. Here we go. Okay. What are your thoughts on Trent? I like Trent. I think he's fine. I like writing him as a fun little kid. I prefer writing him as a sort of indestructible toddler. Of that sort of like, he's always happy and he's unable to be put down, that sort of thing. I don't mind also using North as his name. I'm fine either way. Trent and North, both names, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Some of the names of all time.
Yeah, either or is fine. I do prefer Trent as a name, but I get why people don't like it. But I also am not like, no, you can't use North. I don't mind North.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie genre?
Favorite movie genre? Probably either comedies or like... We'll just say comedies. I've seen a lot of comedy movies. My close second would probably be some sort of like action adventure movie. I'm really boring, man.
I'm a big fan of like buddy cop movies.
I know it's fine.
They haven't come out with a whole lot of them as of late, but I like the buddy cop comedy style.
Yes, I do like that kind of stuff. I love stuff like Rush Hour, that sort of thing. It's just great.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
What ritual posts do you like? I don't really care. I've seen enough that I just kind of like, they are a blank spot in my memory. I don't even look at them.
All right. Do you think there are aliens out in the universe?
Aliens or like alien life? I'm gonna lean on maybe not. We were starting to see a lot of the universe. I'm thinking that there's organisms out there, but I think we were either the first one to get to this point, or we've hit where we've managed to make it past the Great Filter already, I think there are alien bacteria out there, and I think there are alien creatures out there that are just like hanging out on little planets, like effectively like a little spider or something out there, some sort of alien life. And I think that exists, but I don't think there's anything that's as technologically advanced as we are.
I mean, I know we seeded Venus with life, technically, but it was bacteria. And it's in the atmosphere of Venus.
Somebody asked, do you like Tibby? Yes, I like Dippy. He's a cool fella. He's drawn a thing or two for me. I've got a request in. He's a cool fella. If he ever wants to talk, my Discord's up. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, anything else here? Why did you curse me out in our most recent game? Because we played Magic the Gathering, for people that are wondering what's going on here, and I played a deck where I hit with a bunch of curses and then donated permanents. And if in case anybody wants to see the card, go get the commander. The commander I was playing was Blim, B-L-I-M, Comedic Genius. And what he does is he gives permanents away to players and causes problems. So you can give curses, which are an aura. Whenever you give them to another player, it doesn't change who they're enchanted to, so you cast it and give them away to activate his ability. So yes, I cursed him because we were playing MTG, that's why. Alright.
Get him to no good.
I'm gonna...
I see.
Asking me if I think people that enjoy fat women deserve punishment. If you mean punishment by being sit on by fat women, sure, let them have that. Any thoughts on the Wani fan kids so far? Anything you hope to see in their development? I've talked to Bog a bunch about Petunia, and I enjoy Petunia a bunch. Everything else, that's about it. Petunia and Trent, sure. For their development, I enjoy keeping Trent with like the little kiddo Teen Trent, sure. If people want to work on that, I'm not the guy to ask for that. Petunia as a sort of like overly curious and too smart for her own good character, I'd enjoy writing as well. Tail Wrap or Wing Hug? Wing Hug.
Boo.
I'm a fan of Impalement.
Do you like airships? Yeah. Yes, I do. I'm a fan of those sort of the like flying sort of ship things, especially in JRPGs. There's a lot in those.
Would you be a dirigible pilot? If that was still an option?
Probably not. No, I'm not the biggest fan
hydrogen?
I don't want to explode in a giant ball of fire, you know? No, I'm not the biggest fan of piloting things. I'll let somebody else do that.
Have you
I'd
played...
love to be the pilot of an airship.
Good night, Cheeto. Cover up answer.
Can't believe Shido Tower is leaving.
I can't believe he's leaving, no. Okay. Have you played the Ace Attorney games?
I played a couple of them, yes. I can't remember which ones, but I enjoyed them.
Cool.
It's fun writing.
Yes, I do find them pretty fun. I like Edgeworth a lot. He's hilarious.
What do they call it? Tokifornia or whatever is what they call it?
Japanifornia.
Yeah, the translation is rough.
Yeah,
We have our first real question in chat. Your thoughts on VeggieTales?
So I want to.
That's great.
I watched it as a kid. I did have a bunch of religious friends, so I ended up watching a lot of that. The random generated comedy episode has aged like wine. I don't know if you've seen that clip,
Yes.
but it is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Weed
So,
eater.
fan of VeggieTales.
Weed
You
eater.
can mark me down as fan of VeggieTales. It's a little bit overly religious-handed, but it's not that.
I mean,
but yes.
obviously, that was the purpose of it. Was to teach Bible stories in an easy way for kids to understand on a low animation budget.
People come up with these questions, so I don't really read them out stream. What do you think of Tracy? It's all right because she comes from another game. It's a little rough for me to write her because I don't, I've never really played the other game, and there's nobody to get in contact with the original author, so a little rough on that front. I do what I can. She's okay. I don't dislike her, no, but she is rough for me to write. All right.
I'm a fan of Tracy, I would say.
Most and least favorite OCs. Most of them I keep at a pretty, like I said, they're pretty much a 50 across the board. It's real hard for me to pick a most and least favorite. Most favorite. Okay, actually, I can't say this. Most favorite is probably one of the Puppet Pals. Let's just say Schizo. The rest of them are perfectly fine because they're have the most written for them. They're the easiest for me to write. They have the most stuff I can go for. If Frost ever wants to contact me, that'd be great. But other than that, I'll just have to say one of them. Maybe Heather. I don't know. Heather's Southern. I'm Southern. Here we go. Least favorite. The only one I talked about this at the start. I don't really care much for Joshua's design. I don't mind writing for him. I can do that, but I don't really like the way he looks. It looks weird to me.
Racist.
Yeah. Do you know about Witch Panda? Yes, I know who they are. I've never talked to them. Sorry. Opinions on Goth Girls. Goth Girls are great. Favorite melee and ranged weapon of choice. My favorite melee weapon is the Market Gardener from Team Fortress 2, and my favorite ranged weapon of choice is the rocket launcher, specifically the original from Team Fortress 2. Are you still religious? No. Alright. Any super niche, less known video games that you really enjoy that you want to shill? The only ones I can say of is I enjoy me some weird walking simulators or things like that. I enjoy Death Stranding, so I like that kind of stuff.
There's literally a knockoff of Death Stranding called Walking Simulator.
Yeah. I like Space Funeral. I like Toilet in Wonderland. That's a weird fucking one.
Oh, the RPG Maker games?
The RPG Maker games, yes. I like... let me think. Those are the only ones I can think of that are a little bit lesser known. Super niche. The Hilux games are not that niche, but they're good too. LSD Dream Emulator's fun.
Jesus Christ, you enjoyed that?
Yeah, I like walking simulators.
I wouldn't call that a walking simulator.
I liked fucking Yume Nikki, there we go. It's an exploration thing. You sort of go through and it's like, whoa, this is crazy. It's sort of like spectacle game, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see here. No, that's about all I can think of. I don't play too many too niche games. That's about it, I think. Yeah.
You mentioned that the original is your favorite rocket launcher from TF2. Does that mean you also play Quake?
Yes, I used to play Quake, yes.
Cool.
It's been a long time, Quake Arena, but I was pretty good at that. Well,
oh, yeah, Quake 3 Arena, baby. Yep. Let's go.
Do you like Backrooms content? I think it's okay. I think it's a little overused. It's the same... I read House of Leaves, and it's the same sort of idea. And I think that's already like pretty well explored. I think enough is enough on that. I like it, yes, but I don't really think we need more of it.
All right. Hold on. Damn, I lost my idea.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, good. I never had any, so...
The fuse went out.
Yeah, me neither.
Let me wrap some bubble gum around it. Or a bubble gum wrapper around it. Make sure it don't burn out again. Do you have any just archaic knowledge you think the world should know?
I'm not that old.
I'm not saying you're that old, but...
You mean esoteric?
I mean, whatever you want, man.
I don't know, man. Don't take everything so seriously. I guess, like, sure. Sometimes laugh at yourself. Nobody's infallible.
Where the idea for your avatar come from?
Okay, so that's a fun one. That, again, like my name, was given to me from the thread. There's an old image somebody made of the writers of specifically me, Pig, and Warsmith, and they depicted me as a scribe with a question mark for a face. And I thought, you know what? I like that. So that's what we ran with.
That's cool.
How do you feel about characters with mental illness themes like Schizo, Bin, and Green? They're interesting, and I think sometimes they're hard to write because a lot of people don't know what certain mental illnesses look like. So specifically, Ben is hard to get a handle on because when he's managed, until he has a lash out, it's very rough for people to see that. And so even the game has a rough time of it because in case anyone wasn't aware, whenever Ben is having the breakdown at the wedding scene, that is specifically to show that he's off his medication, and that's showing signs of psychosis is what that is. It's really hard to pick up on, especially on a first playthrough, unless you either know somebody that's like that or have family members like that. And so things like that are real rough. But things like Schizo or like if we're saying Green with a mental illness, it's a little easier on them because the hallucination side and the sort of paranoia is a lot easier to write. But the lighter you go on that front, the harder it gets. All right, DV says, if you had to rerun one of the I cannot read. If you had to rewrite one of the Snoot game or Wani's Rats, which ones would you feel would need it the most? I think there's a little bit to be done in E2 of Wani to try and differentiate a little bit. It's a little weak. There's certain, like, because of the big gap between how ridiculous Inko is in E1 and how, like, bland and sort of like a non-person is in E3, there's this sort of like gap there that's not particularly perfect until you get to post the end. What I think the lead up from the cutoff to the end could tend to be a little stronger and a little more memorable, and I think that's the, like, where writing focus could be done, but I think post-ending of that, I think we're good to go. All right, nope, okay. Opinion on the occasional thread meltdowns. They're pretty funny usually. I just enjoy chuckling at them. Do you drink energy drinks or coffee? Not really. I drink coffee sometimes. I'm a tea fella most of the time.
What's your opinion on the mod scene?
The modding scene for Snoo Game and Wani?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate everybody doing their thing. I've talked about it before. I don't really look into it too much. Everybody doing their creative thing, trying to make things. I'm very supportive of that. The one thing I did say is, try and keep a little hush-hush sometimes. We don't need to know every step, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, if there's anything else, I'll take some more. If not, have you guys got anything to ask?
I got a question.
Sure.
How would you rewrite Wani's E1 route? Because the main criticism I have seen is the foundations of Inko's narcissism and sociopathy is not really laid down until the end.
So I think the problem is not E1 itself, it's that it's not shown quite enough at the start of the game. I think the best way to do it is to drop little hints that Inko's having trouble connecting with people. Maybe make some of the choices a little harsher on the whoa, I really clearly, he has no clue what the fuck he's doing, if you pick that option sort of thing. Or drop hints early on that he's struggling to make friends because he doesn't really understand what he's doing wrong, that sort of thing. I think that the main issue is that there's not quite enough teasing of that planted in through the story. He comes off as a little bit bland and flat instead. I think that's the only problem. I think the cutoff from seeing him do the horrible things like that, I think that's perfect. I don't think that needs to be touched. I just think there needs to be some sprinkling before that. If you ever watch Live Leak, yes, I've seen Live Leak videos. I'm
Jesus.
old. Yep.
What a question.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm
Live
old.
Leak only disappeared a few years ago.
I thought it was still around.
What is your favorite midnight snack? You wake up in the middle of the night and just, I'm hungry.
Well, whatever's in the fridge for dinner, usually. If I got to pick, probably cold pizza.
Yeah.
I love me some cold pizza.
I like just eating dry cereal straight out of the box.
If Inko and Anon had a death battle, who would win? Hard mode, no E3 Anon. You mean as in just fighting? Because Anon does carry a dagger. He talks about it. He carries a knife. I'd say Anon's a little bit more street, a little bit more hood. I'd give him the edge there.
Yeah.
Would you rather fight a goose or fight a gorilla inside of a mall?
A goose, absolutely.
But what if
A gorilla would tear me in half!
But what if there's many geese?
How many geese?
About 50.
I could probably get about 50 geese. It would take a while. But I bet you I could I've grabbed a goose by the neck before. Right? I could pick up a goose and just crack another goose with
by
it.
the neck before. That was me.
Quite you. Okay, here's a better. Are they swarming me all at once, or are they kind of scattered out? Ugh, it's hard. It's still the goose because a gorilla would tear me in half. Have you seen gorillas? A gorilla would unscrew my head like a bottle cap.
All right. New question. Would you rather be a clown at a children's birthday party or have to put a clown suit on a gorilla?
I could be a clown at a children's birthday party. Yeah, I can perform. I've been in theater. I can perform. Okay. If you had to write a plot,
what kind of act do you do for that?
As clown?
Yeah.
Party tricks, probably. Tell cheesy dad jokes. Audience interaction. That's the key to make people laugh, especially kids. So.
Yeah. Would you put your clown makeup into the record painted on an egg?
Well, nah, probably not.
No,
I'm not really a bane of
allowed to have
theatrics. Yeah, I'm aware, but yeah, I'd probably just no. I don't think I'd care that much. If you had to write a plot centered around the fan kids, would you write it more lighthearted for fun, or more of a heavier plot that focuses on the actual issues? Depends on the angle I would be taking it. If I was to write something just raw like that, I would want it to be one fan kid and have Anon as the parent, and have them trying to learn or not to fall in the same sort of footsteps as the parents and get along with their own sort of thing. So something like I've written with Maria a little bit of learning not to be the black sheep of the family, Cynthia not to be like a crybaby daddy's girl, things like that. is what I would prefer to do. So a little bit more serious on that. If we were to just like, if we were to have all of Van Kids, I would prefer it to be a lighthearted, sort of like them all just riffing off each other and, you know, blah, 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 that sort of thing. Favorite real life weapon? Probably the Claymore. Big swords are cool. Left tilt or right tilt? I know what you're asking, and I cannot answer that. Tits or ass? Tits. I can answer that one. All right, let's see here.
Thighs
Being a class natural.
or
Be nice!
biceps?
Probably thighs.
Nice.
All right, thoughts about soda. I like sodas, but I don't care about, like, sodas. Like, sure, sugar water, great, whatever. Coke versus Pepsi, I don't care, they're sugar water.
Favorite beer brand?
I don't really like beer. I prefer spirits if I'm going to drink. If I had to
okay.
say favorite, it's going to be some, like, with the sugarier ones, like
Absolutely
Dos
fair.
Equis
Don't
or
blame you.
something. Yeah.
Don't blame me on that one, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Any more questions? Thoughts about soda, blah, blah, blah. Being clowns natural, be nice. Okay. Yep. So far, so good.
Any life anecdotes that you don't mind sharing?
Not many.
Stupid shit you've done as a kid, you know?
I could talk about how, so my entire, like, last year of high school is that I had done all the, like, pre-college placement stuff, but I just didn't do the college courses things instead of, like, because I had, like, one class I needed for my senior year. So instead of, like, not having anything for me to do because I couldn't take any more of the electives, I'd taken, like, all of them. They were just like, fuck it, you get to come work in the office for, like, 4 hours, or 4 or 5 hours a day. So my senior year, almost the entirety of it, was just me dicking around and either watching Always Sunny with one of the other chicks that was doing the same thing I was, or just, like, being effectively a kingpin for the, like, tardy passes and shit. So yes, my entire senior year, I had, like, 2 classes total that I had to take, and everything else was just me hanging out with the faculty and dicking around the office. Nice. That was fun. So several times, I've watched, like, 4 seasons of Always Sunny that year. I have been bribed several times to give out hallway passes and things along those lines. It was very interesting.
And you took bribes? For shame.
Absolutely. You think somebody is going to give me, like, $30 to be like, just like, oh yeah, you came in 5 minutes earlier? Fucking yeah, absolutely I. Lions versus tigers. I'm not good with animals, let's say. I think it's tigers. I'm not sure, though.
Well, maybe if you put a mask on the back of your head, the tiger will not sneak up behind you.
And asking lion versus tiger who wins in the fight, I don't know.
Oh, it's the tiger.
Futuristic cyberpunk setting or Old Wild West? I think I prefer Old Wild West. I like westerns pretty good. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Somebody's asking about hybrid or pure.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yes, I prefer pure slightly. I do kind of subscribe to the being adopted by Trish sort of thing. I do like that story a lot. But either's fine. I'm very slightly leaning towards that one, though. Least favorite aspects and one of your most favorite characters. I don't... So, that's Fang and Livia. So, with Fang, the thing that I don't enjoy sometimes is that she's kind of given a pass near the last third of the game, that she was kind of really mean to Anon for a long time. And even though she is nicer there, she doesn't ever really apologize for that. So I do wish there was more sort of like that of her realizing, you know what, I was kind of a bitch to you for a long time, you know? Favorite author of books? That would be Terry Pratchett. I'm a big fan of Terry Pratchett. That or Tolkien. Big fan of both of them. But we'll say Pratchett because holy shit, every one of his books is hilarious. Anybody else got anything?
I'm afraid not.
I'm pretty
loaded guns.
I can bring up one more thing because I didn't that I had ready that I didn't know people to ask for is that the other stuff that I do because if you were going to ask my actual factual thing that I've been in a professional setting for the most part of or like professional learning would be choir as the longest thing that I had going. I have had more choir than I've had college, so just a little fun fact about that one. So I was one of the theater kids, the choir kid, that sort of thing. Then collegiate era was bachelors of both math and computer science. So. Did you read Redwall? Did you have a favorite one? I don't know. I did not read Redwall. I don't know what that is. Are you willing to drink piss in the desert to survive? I mean, sure. If it's death or being grossed out once, sure, I'll take the gross out, I guess.
Would you get in a fist fight with Bear Grylls?
Would I?
Why?
I mean, yeah.
Why?
I mean, is the question, could I take him in a fight, or would I just get in a fist fight with him?
Both.
You know what? Never
If
mind.
somebody
That's
yelled
both
out,
no.
"Would you want to? Who wants to get in a fight?" and it's Bear Grylls, would you take the fight?
No.
Why
I'm
not?
not looking to lose a tooth or like die. I'm not a violent person, thank you. Which version of Melissa is your favorite? Just the regular old? I'm not sure what you're asking. If you mean like versus Spoopies versus like the other one, I guess the Threads. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Your most hated coat fic trope. I don't hate many tropes. I think they can be done well as long as you're a sufficiently proficient writer. I am a little tired of the instant. I prefer a slow burn. So let's say too quick to get together is my least favorite coat fic trope. Have you read French Philosophers? Slightly. If so, which is your favorite? I can't remember his name.
Be
It's
careful.
not Nietzsche, but it's the other one. Well, it might be Nietzsche, but something like that. It's the. I might be thinking of the wrong one. But I do enjoy the philosophy of the sort of like, you are responsible for yourself and you're responsible for your own feelings more than anything else. That's the sort of idea there. I can't remember what it is. It's literally been like 9 or 10 years since I've read stuff like that in college, but that's the idea that I usually like to take to heart.
You're trying
Would
to
you
think
go to a
about the
cookout
bear
with a bear
already.
that grills? Sure. I would go to a cookout as long as he didn't try and maul me.
As long as he doesn't get too hungry, he won't maul you.
Which alternate settings would you like to see more of to diverge from the overdone high school shtick? I think high school's fine. I really do. If we were to pick a second setting that I would prefer to see, I would like to see a sort of post like school, like maybe like not collegiate, but just raw dog in life, like nothingness sort of guy. Just like baseline, like he didn't know what he was going to do. He's just kind of waging and going from there. I think would be an interesting angle to take it.
You know, I really want to, after I clear out some of my existing projects, I would like to do like a buddy cop VN.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm a big fan of buddy cop stuff. The Rush Hours, the all that kind of stuff. The Men in Black, all great, all great.
I gotta keep practicing my programming. I can operate inside of Sublime Text, but I don't understand it, you know?
Mm.
Okay, just start. There you go. Thank you. The favorite aesthetic. That's a hard one. I am a big fan of the sort of brutalist. I do like that, even though it is, literally brutalist. I also like sort of the. I can't think of the name of it, but it's a lot. It's I think abstract is the name of it, of things that are just representations and everything's real hard to get a hold of. That sort of stuff. Do you have any alternate? Oh yeah, here we go. Alternate version endings of the game, E2 parent, blah blah blah, that you particularly like or enjoy. Alternate versions of endings that I particularly enjoy, or that's pretty hard. I do like the E2 of them getting back together. I do like that kind of thing. The E2 parents is a little iffy. Skinny game's pretty fun. I do enjoy that. Particularly enjoy. That's hard. Let's say my favorite of that is a sort of E3 where other let's say E3 Fang Kids. I do enjoy that particularly, of the imperfect Lucy and Anon having to deal with the kids. Not great. So not perfect, All right,
Mod replays a new hire at Taco Bell and deal with all the manners of BS and Maggie
Taco Shell. Neo 2? The Neo games are fun. They're not quite my style. I did enjoy Neo 2, though. Yes.
What is the limit of what you would do for a Klondike bar?
Anything past paying, I think we'll call it there.
I'd do circus animal tricks for a Klondike bar.
No, I'm not the biggest fan of candy. I'm just
Just
really not.
Klondike bar.
If you could just domesticate any genus or species of animal, which animal would it be?
Sorry, one more time.
If you could just domesticate outright any
Oh.
animal, what would it be?
Gorilla. Absolutely. You wouldn't think fucking. They'd be not too difficult to feed. They're vegetarians. They eat fruit, things like that. So that wouldn't be too big a deal. And just having like a gorilla to hang out in your house is like the best deterrent ever. And it's the coolest thing. Like imagine you have a friend come over, right? And they come in your room and there's just this big fucking honking gorilla just like chewing down on some lettuce or something back there. You wouldn't think he'd be like, holy shit, that's a gorilla, right? Absolutely. I would take gorilla. Besides, if there's ever anybody breaking in, he'll just tear them in half. So.
You really like the idea of a gorilla tearing somebody in half, don't you?
Have you not seen those motherfuckers? They're like 8 foot tall and all muscle.
Gorillas are not 8 foot tall. They're just wide.
They're fucking huge.
He saw a gorilla grow out as a kid and got scared.
I've seen gorillas ragdoll people by walking at them. No, I think gorillas are cool.
Would you go back in time to save Harambe?
No, that's a nexus point. We can't fix that.
It has to happen.
Yeah, it has to happen.
It was a canon.
Gorillas rip ass constantly.
Yes.
He could be an outside gorilla then.
You can't interrupt the canon.
Aren't they all?
Favorite fan kid interactions. I do enjoy of Cynthia calling everybody just slurs constantly. I like that one. Of just having no filter at all and just going nuts. That's one of my favorite fan kid interactions.
I feel like somebody's about to say whelp.
It's the white people play. I know it
Well-
because I'm a white people.
We're all white people in
Whelp,
here, I'm pretty
about
sure.
45 more minutes.
Yep.
Whelp.
Do you have any story or green text ideas that you came up on your own that you're particularly fond of? I talked about this earlier. I don't have any ideas that I came up of on my own. Every one of them has been asked for. That every single one of them. So, no. I did answer earlier one of my favorite green texts, and they even did a little reading of it, of a Macho Man Randy Savage of saving E1 Fang from E1. Okay, you ever play Assure's Wrath? No, but I've seen it. Looks very interesting. Maybe eventually.
Well, here's a question. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's pretty hard. Probably The Iron Giant. I'm a real big fan of that one.
Oh, that's great.
Or... Yeah, probably. We'll say that, The Iron Giant.
Nice.
Alright, so there's 3 doors, and you know that behind 2 of them, one is a man in a gorilla costume, and the other is a gorilla in a gorilla costume, and behind the third is a gorilla in a man costume. Which door do you open?
What?
You're not. You are really harping on the gorilla stuff, aren't
Look,
you?
man, I'm just saying,
What?
gorillas could tear me in half. And I think a gorilla's pet would be fucking hilarious. Just a comedy animal and absolute just mountain of muscle, so...
Would you dress your pet gorilla in little clothes?
Oh, absolutely. If he's not got a little fucking
Propeller
propeller
hat?
cap, yeah, propeller cap, and a shirt that's like 4 sizes too small for him, why are you owning a gorilla?
What do you name this gorilla?
Chunky. Absolutely.
Be
Look,
fantastic.
everything has to be like I said, don't take everything so seriously. Have fun with it. So he's gonna have a funny name. Alright, do you have any story or green text ideas that you want to write more of or see people explore? I talked about a little bit, like, the post-E4 stuff of wanting specifically. I enjoy. There's not quite enough of that. I do enjoy writing it as well. Mainly. And the other small story stuff is I do enjoy also seeing when people write little fun interactions of, like, right up leading to the ending, right before... the like ending 4 actually happens and non like pieces out the last couple of dates and them having like the desperate like lovey-dovey stuff. That's fun too.
I feel like you would like swans at work a lot.
I can't say I've read much of it, if at all. I probably caught something of his in passing that I just don't remember reading.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
He has written quite a bit.
Magilla Gorilla is also a great name. If you could animorph, what animal would you turn into? If I could turn into an animal,
Gorilla?
no, it's not gorilla. Thank you. I'm already effectively a gorilla. I don't need to be just bigger. I would pick something like a bird, something that can fly. Like being able to fly would be the best. It would solve a lot of problems. I don't have to worry about transportation. I'll pick some sort of bird.
You'd move as the crow flies.
Yeah, there you go. Some small bird. Pick crow. Why not? Somebody asked, do you think Trent and the twins should stay separate or have little shenanigans during family get-togethers? Okay, so I do like the Anon and Inko being cousins. I know it's a little bit up in the air because it's kind of a joke as a chapter name in the game. I do enjoy that concept, though. I do, think it's fine. But I do think Trent and the twins should stay as separate sort of things. The twins already have their sort of friend group dynamic, and we're starting to dilute the pool too much if we kind of get them all together. I think they should have their own little thing to do.
Yeah.
I like Trent and Petunia, because, Trent gets to do his own thing, and they get to hang out.
I mean, I think if they want to, people want to be adventurous, to be when they grow older, they meet up randomly. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be integrated into each other's friend groups.
Oh,
maybe they know each other, but I don't think they need to be
that's like a really family reunion type thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my cousin I haven't seen in years.
Okay.
All right, cool. See ya. See you in the next 3 decades.
Do you watch any streamers, I'm asked? Sort of. I don't really watch live streams anymore because, all live streaming services... YouTube's fine, but, oh god, Twitch has gotten really bad, and I don't really go on Kick either. Yeah, I do enjoy some Germa because he's an absolute pushover. I loved him getting just ruined by chat constantly. It's hilarious. A little bit of Vinny, a little bit of Joel, Bark Skeletor. I do enjoy... let me try and think of who else. Those are the main ones whose stuff... Oh, Doug. I like Doug. He is fucking hilarious. Yes. Other than that, just those, really.
How about YouTubers?
I don't do many. I do some smaller YouTubers. Let me try and think who I'm actively subscribed to. Funnily enough, there's another Goose-based YouTuber that I subscribe to.
I must get into a fist fight with him.
Neurotic Goose. I enjoy his content a lot.
You've been warned. We're doing WrestleMania.
A goose cock fight is happening soon.
Yes. Neurotic Goose. I do watch. Let me think. Some other I occasionally dabble in the Can You Beat slop. That's always fun to do. It's just something to do in the background.
The answer is yes, of course.
Well, yeah, no shit. The video wouldn't exist otherwise. There are some that don't do that. That some are like, nope, you can't. Near the end. It's like, oh, that's fun.
Let me explain why you're fucked.
I like Imfa. Imfa is a phenomenal YouTuber. YMFAH. He is hilarious. The stuff that he does. I'm a fan of some of the Soul stuff. YouTubers I'm subscribed to. That's really it. I subscribe to a lot of YouTubers. I just kind of peruse whatever YouTube wants to throw at me. Oh, I do watch some MTG YouTubers, specifically Thraben University and Bosch and Roll. I enjoy their old legacy content. That's fun.
Is there any strange government agency memorabilia that you would consider purchasing? Or not government agency, just strange memorabilia you'd consider purchasing?
Yes.
Because I saw a Pinkerton badge for sale the other day.
I own weird shit. I own a blanket made out of jean. And I don't mean like denim, I mean jeans. It has pockets and belt buckles on it. I own a lamp made out of driftwood. I own a stolen one of the hanging lanterns from Pizza Hut. Yes, absolutely. I love owning comical shit.
Anybody got anything?
I'm cooked.
Somebody else asked, how do you write Ember's flaws? You subscribe to, she's pushy to, yeah, okay. So mainly what I give her is that she's blind to the flaws of people around her, is the big one I have, is that she has a massive blind spot. She does not see ill for anyone that she enjoys. So anything that any one of her friends does wrong is immediately everybody else's fault and not their own. So she's real like that towards people. I also have the, she likes to stick her snoot where it doesn't belong and try and get in other people's business. I like that too. And I also usually have it that she's really headstrong and sort of like really, really, really hard to get a point across to. Like if she disagrees with you, it's a struggle.
Shall I do a whelp?
If you'd like to.
It might be about that time, yeah.
It might,
Yeah.
maybe about the time.
It's good, almost 3 hours, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2:45 according to my clock here.
Oh yeah, place him in the autism ranking.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
All right. Well, let me.
So
pull up my
I have-
categories.
The Team Fortress 2 autism. Would you like to learn how hammer units work?
So I have a tier list that I need to actually add some people to, but I have the categories. Let me pull them up here. Starting at the most autistic, going down to the least. Doesn't acknowledge women as a concept. Knows everything about trains. What is eye contact? Special interest. Starman Super. Interesting bedfellow. Hello, I'm a normal human. Touched with autism. And normie.
You can put me solidly, I think, in eye contact.
Third tier. With me and Farian.
Sure, throw me up in there. 'Cause, like I said, I have way too much knowledge about how Team Fortress 2 works. Fun fact, by the way, depending on if the server is running Linux or Windows, the physics work differently slightly.
Really?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I can actually demonstrate it if you want me to show you. But there's this rounding error that happens when you're up against slanted walls. And for whatever reason, Linux always rounds up while Windows rounds correctly. So on certain slanted angled walls, you can stick to them because Linux thinks you're standing in them somehow because it puts you 1 unit over.
Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's a bunch of other things like that. I can tell you, you can jump off of 1 hammer unit high surfaces without touching them. You can jump off of 2 hammer unit high surfaces by uncrouching 1 tick before landing and then jumping. If you do that trick of jumping before touching the ground, you're technically always still airborne, meaning things like the market garden will always crit. There's a bunch of stuff. There's the crit rate ramp up. The more damage you do up to 65% critical hit chance with your melee. Anyway, I know way too much about Team Fortress 2.
I didn't get into it super
I mean-
hard because by the time I was, playing games, the sweats
Nope,
had...
I mean, I know about the coconut PNG that's keeping the game together. Apparently,
Not actually the coconut PNG. That's misinformation. The thing that keeps the game together is the cow cutout model. If you take out the cow cutout model, the game will not load. Yes.
I should really add something like that to the mod, where it's just a random picture that it looks for it, and if it's gone, it just crashes the snoot game.
Awesome.
I'm assuming you've thoroughly read the comics as well. I'm guessing.
Oh yes, I read the comic within 20 minutes of it being put out. It was wonderful.
Did you have a Google
Yeah.
alert up for that?
Yeah, I saw that for you. Sorry, what was that? Did I what?
Oats.
Oh, so what'd you ask him?
Did you have a Google alert out for that or something?
No, I don't know how other people found it, but I was alerted by a friend about 10 minutes after it was posted. I don't know how he found about it.
Listen, I believe this Anon has a question that you need to answer.
I saw. Do you really want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to kill anyone in the interview, who would it be, and who would be the hardest and easiest? I guess we're gonna say myself, and myself for the easiest, and hardest is probably Farin. I've seen his arsenal. That would be a struggle because I would have a hole in me way, way longer than I could ever see him.
He's seen the gym pictures.
Oh yeah, the guns.
He has multiple weapons in his arsenal. Not only firearms, he has the firearms.
You see, I solve practical problems. That was a pipe wrench, by the way.
You messed up.
We
Well,
You
messed
messed
up.
up. You didn't do it correctly.
You're a pretty good demo man. There you go. Middle pipes falling dot MP3.
Yeah, you gotta hit it at an angle, otherwise it doesn't click right.
Right.
I have this pipe wrench set to the least useful size, by the way. It's all the way closed. Sometimes you need to twist things, okay? Jeez.
I mean, I own a pipe wrench. Or I adjustable wrench. It's not really a
Yeah,
pipe
well,
wrench.
can you build a sentry?
Yeah,
with
that's
it,
called a
Closer?
crescent.
No, I can't build a sentry. I mean,
Fake
in
engineer,
theory,
fake
I've
engineer.
I've seen the code behind making like an automatic laser sensor. I can do that, but it's not like that's hard though. It's just an input reader.
All right. I love you. Will you
I
say
love
it
you.
back?
I love you too.
Not
Mark.
you.
I love
Not you,
you.
Goose.
I guess I'll see all you, see you Space Cowboys.
Bye bye.